Hey Yvette, long time no see. I heard you got married, sis. Could it really be? Why didn't you tell me? That's like so not cool.
Oh, hi. It's been a while, Tamsin. Why are you messaging me out of the blue all of a sudden?
Didn't I just say? You got married, right? Why didn't you tell me anything?
I did tell Mom and Dad, but they just told me, to quote them, to do whatever the hell I please. I can't say I was too interested in carrying on the conversation. I mean, come on, sis. We haven't seen each other or spoken in years. Why would I go out of my way to tell you about my wedding?
How could you be so cold? I'm your little sister. In spite of that, I haven't heard a peep out of you in years, and if that's not bad enough, you kept your damn wedding of all things a secret from me? You're just making me sad here, sis.
You feel sad? You've got some nerve. Did you forget about everything you did to me?
Huh? What are you talking about? Did I do something to you?
Are you seriously telling me you don't remember? You've been stealing all of my things since we were barely out of our pushchairs. It only started out as toys, and I mean, fine, whatever. Kids will be kids. I wouldn't have a problem if it stopped there, but when we grew up, you escalated to stealing my favorite clothes and bags. Then, in middle and high school, you moved on to stealing my boyfriends. Even after that, you kept stealing my stuff. Nothing was safe. You took everything I worked so hard to buy myself with the money from my part-time job at the cafe. When I tried telling you to stop, you'd run off to Mom and tell her I was bullying you so she'd take your side.
Gee, sis, you still harping on about all that crap? Let bygones be bygones already. Sheesh! You're so petty. Anyway, I didn't do anything wrong, no matter how much you cry and complain. All I did was say I wanted your stuff. It was thanks to me constantly pestering Mom and Dad you got given so much stuff in the first place. So what if I have them? Something for me every now and then?
What? You can't be serious. You don't see the problem with crying and screaming and kicking up a fuss until Mom and Dad got so tired of you they gave you my things to placate you? Not only that, but you're the one who made moves on my boyfriends. You went out of your way to steal them from me.
Nuh-uh. I so did not. I know you're still bitter, but accept it, girl. They chose me over you, and that's all there is to it. If you actually think about it, you'll see it wasn't my fault. LOL, but if there's one thing I might be guilty of, it's being more beautiful than you.
Drop the act already. You were the one who went on the attack. You did it all on purpose. You know what hurt the most? Every time you succeeded in stealing something from me, you lost interest all of a sudden and threw it away. You went out of your way to throw my things in the trash when I was looking, to break up with my boyfriends right before my eyes. You'd condescendingly preach to me how you were entitled to throw away your things if you wanted to, but it was clear all you wanted to do was hurt me. You ridiculed and humiliated me at every opportunity. You made me feel like crawling into a hole and dying. I'll never forget what you did. Don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware Mom and Dad put you up to it half the time.
Wow, sis. You're an even bigger self-pitying loser than I thought. How can you have such a warped, twisted view of the world? Have you considered therapy? You're scary. You'll get even uglier at this rate if you're not careful. Have you considered thinking positively for a change? Negativity ages you, you know? Surely you have enough wrinkles already.
The point here is that I want absolutely nothing to do with you or the rest of my family ever again. I made that pretty clear to Mom and Dad when I told them I was getting married. To my astonishment, Mom was actually adult enough to respect that, and she agreed never to make contact again. You didn't seem to get the message, though. I know she told you.
Ugh, don't be so mean-spirited. You're my only sister in the world. I want to see your new husband. What's he like? I really wanted to go to the wedding, but thanks to you sulking, I had no idea where it was gonna be held.
That's funny. You say you wanted to go to my wedding, but I know you had no intention of celebrating or being happy for me.
I so did. Stop with this already. Your words, they cut me like a knife. Can you imagine though? If I actually did go to the wedding, I would have stolen the show. Everyone would have been talking about me. I just know it. I guess it probably would have sucked for you to be upstaged by your beautiful little sis on your wedding day.
I was right not to invite you. Even just the thought of it makes me feel ill on a visceral level. Honestly, you're the last person on earth I wanted to see there.
Whoa! Are you jealous? I can't pretend I don't get it though. If I was there, you would have been practically invisible on the most important day of your life. It was a good tactical move, I'll give you that. I'm not mad at you for not inviting me. Even a crusty loser like you should get to be in the spotlight at least once in her miserable life, right? And I so generously and benevolently didn't even try and track down the venue.
Whatever. You can think and say what you like. I want nothing more to do with you. Are you done now?
You really are cold. Let's face it. Any guy someone like you manages to bag isn't going to be anything special. He's the husband of a disappointing wrinkled hag in her 30s after all. Is he bald, fat, or some miserably old man who spends most of his life in an office cubicle getting shouted at by successful people? Maybe he's all three?
Yep, you hit the nail on the head, so you may as well just leave it alone.
I knew it. Enjoy your magic miserable lives together.
Tamsin! Stay away from my husband!
Huh? What's this about?
Don't play dumb with me. You've been sending messages to my husband on Peepbook.
Huh? So what? What's bad about that? Human beings talk to each other all the times. You know, it's a perfectly normal thing to do. Imagine getting upset over that. Cringe. You baffle me.
Which part is normal? I'm the one who's baffled. Your behavior makes no sense.
Use your head, pea-brain. Your husband equals my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law equals my family. It's perfectly normal for me to talk to my family on social media.
Surely that only applies to family you actually have anything to do with. Besides, even if it was normal, it's certainly not normal to send your brother-in-law pics of you in your underwear. If you think otherwise, I suggest you go get your head checked out.
Wait a second. You crap me up, you vet. Those aren't my panties. It's a bikini.
Panties or bikini, the surface area is the same. Hey, you big hunky stallion, do you think I look cute in these? Seriously, I want to vomit. No one in their right mind would send anything like that to their sister's husband.
You're overthinking this like you do everything else, and you have the gall to call me a head case? I didn't mean anything by it. It was just a bit of lighthearted fun. Take a chill pill. Ah, I get it. You're losing your mind because you think I'm gonna steal your husband, aren't you? I mean, I guess it makes sense. Let's face it, you're never gonna come out on top in a contest between me or you.
Do you never get bored of this? Just give it a break already. Your very existence disgusts me more than words can describe.
Whoa, scary. Who says stuff like that? Does your husband have any idea what a deranged psycho you are? You're a real nasty piece of work. You should be locked up. I feel kind of bad for him. Did he know what he was getting himself into? I fear for your married life together. Should I send in a rescue team? LOL.
He knows me better than any of my actual family do. So, thanks, but we don't need your concern. That's why we got married.
But you know you and him aren't a good match, don't you? You'll never last. I know, sis. How he's tall, dark, and handsome. How he's on 6 figures in a management role at a major company. My friend told me, and I told Mom. Wanna know what she said? That a young beauty like me is far more suitable for a high-spec guy like him. I agree, he's wasted on you.
Maybe it does look like we're a mismatch from the outside, and you know what? Think what you want. I don't care. We got married because we love each other. You can try and tempt him all you like, but you're wasting your time.
Is that a challenge? You do remember how every single boyfriend you've ever had broke up with you for me, right? You should be more careful about what you say. I hate to break this to you, honey, but your husband replied saying he wants to meet me. Surprise, surprise! He chose the young beauty over the dried-up hag.
Is that so? I'm happy for you to think that.
Yep, that is so. Looks like you have some preparations to make.
Preparations? For the divorce?
I've decided I'm gonna go through with it. Me and him are going to get married. After all, me taking away everything you hold dear has become somewhat of a family tradition. It'd be a shame if not to keep it alive. Seems like your husband's fully on board with that too. You wouldn't want to stand in the way of the man you love getting what his heart truly desires, would you?
I see. Do you really want him that badly?
Yep, I want. I'm so much better suited to him. He's gonna be the happiest man on earth with me in his arm.
I see. Fine. Leave it with me. I'll send everything over.
Huh? What the? I thought you'd be mad. Why are you going along with it so readily? Is it because you're putting your husband's happiness first?
Discussing anything with you would only be a waste of time. Instead, I'm gonna give in and send you everything I own.
Woohoo! That escalated quickly. I'm shocked, sis, I gotta admit. It's actually kinda disappointing. Although, guys like him only come around once in a blue moon. Handsome and a high earner. I shouldn't complain, really. I'm happy to leave you alone and let you live out the rest of your years in lonely misery after this. So make sure you deal with the divorce proceedings ASAP, okay? Hey! What the heck? What's going on? Explain!
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You know exactly what I mean, don't play dumb. I'm asking you what the heck you think you're playing at sending a load of garbage at my house?
But didn't you say you wanted all of my things? That's why I sent you all of my things.
What? What? Why would I want your trash? Have you lost your mind?
Come on, trash is taking it a bit far. It might not be brand new, but the TV is still watchable. And the furniture is still in pretty good condition. You have no idea how much of a help you've been. I had no idea what I was gonna do with all the furniture and appliances from when I lived on my own when I moved in with my husband. I was actually thinking of taking it to the landfill. Laws around recycling have gotten real strict lately, and it seemed like more trouble than it was worth. I couldn't believe my luck when you said you wanted it all. Thanks so much, Tamsin. You're a lifesaver.
Are you messing with me?
No, not at all. You said you wanted all of my stuff. So, I sent you all of my stuff. That's all.
I said I wanted your husband, not this crap. I never said anything about sending me a pile of trash, not even once.
But you see, my husband isn't a thing, nor is he stuff. He's a human being. I have no right to give him away like some possession. Besides, it's all still usable, so it's not trash.
Ugh! Just let me meet him. I don't know why, but your husband's P-book page disappeared since we last spoke and I can't message him anymore. I'm guessing you deleted it because you were panicking? If I can just meet him in person, he'll choose me. I just know it.
My husband's Peep-book page? Oh, that. Now that you mention it, he did say some weird woman, obviously trying to look younger than she is, sent him some disturbing pictures. Apparently, he blocked her straight away. He said they made him feel uncomfortable.
What? Weird? Trying to look younger than I am? Disturbing? My pictures made him feel uncomfortable? What? Are you making fun of me?
I mean, is he wrong? You might be younger than me, but you are 30 now. You're well past the age you can go around using your youth as a weapon. You call me a wrinkly old hag, but I'm only 2 years older than you.
Ugh, shut up! I've got you beat in every category. I get told I look like I'm in my early 20s all the time.
Ugh, this again. I've been wondering this for a while now. But have you ever heard of the term flattery?
Oh my god, what? What's gotten into you? You've been looking down your nose at me this whole time, haven't you? I don't need to hear this from the likes of you.
You are, of course, free to think what you like about yourself. I think it's healthy to have a positive self-image, even if it is contradicted by reality. By the way, my husband did actually say he wants to meet you.
Oh, he did? Really?
Yes, really. He said your disturbing behavior made him so curious that he wants to know whether you're that weird in real life too.
What?
He said he wants to see the culprit behind the decade-long harassment campaign against me with his own eyes. He seemed genuinely amazed that someone like you is able to delude yourself that you're young or beautiful.
No, it's you two who are weird. You're the ones who are messed up. Come to think of it, it makes perfect sense. You're a nutcase, so he'd have to have a screw loose to have anything to do with you in the first place. Birds of a feather. He's probably just trying to defend his wounded pride because he knows deep down he'd never have a chance with me.
That's right. We're a pair of nutcases in love. I have to correct you, though. You seem to have things the wrong way around. You're the one who doesn't have a chance with him. Understand now? How about you just acknowledge it instead of trying to defend your wounded pride? You can't always have things your way.
Shut up. When I find a guy to marry, he's gonna be the real deal, the genuine article. He's gonna be tall, handsome, rich, funny, witty, charismatic, popular, rich, and have great taste in women. The kind of guy who'd even turn you down in your dreams.
You were disqualified at great taste in women. I wonder if you can really pull it off, though.
If a cave troll like you can find a husband, there's no way I can't.
The problem is, your only redeeming quality is your rapidly deprecating appearance. Besides that, maybe your youth? Even that's doubtful, though. Your personality is so rotten you'd give the devil a run for his money, and you're an unemployed shut-in who's barely even capable of housework. What do you bring to the table?
I can do housework. What other skills do I need besides that? That's the most important thing for a woman. Have you seen the statistics on how much money beautiful women make in their lifetimes compared to ugly ducklings like you? I have, and I know one thing. The good life is waiting for me.
But surely that only applies to beautiful women who take the time to reflect on themselves, learn skills, and become better people by enriching the lives of those around them. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it probably doesn't apply to poisonous, naive layabouts who think they're really beautiful just because they're young, which they're not, who contribute nothing of value to anyone.
How could someone as ugly as you possibly understand?
No one escapes aging, and you're already 30. You can harp on about youth and beauty all you like, but there's no denying it. You're no spring chicken. You're past the point of being capable of begging a guy who's into young beauties. I hate to break this to you, but that ship left port, and it's never coming back.
Ugh, you're so annoying. Just shut up. You think you're so special because you got married? This is so went to your head.
I don't think I'm special at all. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got a message from Mom. You were more reliable to us than that lazy good-for-nothing.
Huh?
She said you might have had a shot at marrying into wealth 5 years ago, but now you're just unwanted leftovers. She's completely useless. Despite being jobless, she barely even does housework.
No way, she didn't say that. Mom and Dad said I'm valuable to them simply by existing. Mom said I might still have a shot at marrying into money.
When was this? You see, the thing is, Mom and Dad are currently in the process of trying to cozy up to me because they say the thought of relying on you in their old age makes them anxious. To think they spent all these years spoiling you as their favorite. It's really quite ironic, isn't it? It made me laugh when they suddenly started trying to curry favor with me the moment they heard about my husband, despite the fact that they told me never to contact them again. You've had them wrapped around your finger for pretty much your entire life. And to be fair to them, they have looked after you. Make sure you see them through their old age in comfort, okay?
There's no way Mom and Dad would say those things about me. They'd never choose you over me. They always said I was their favorite, the beautiful daughter.
Fine, ask them yourself. Ask them who they'd rather looked after them in their old age. Will you believe it when you hear it straight from Mom and Dad themselves? Or are you too stubborn and thick-headed even for that?
The answer is obviously gonna be me. These are just lies and fantasies. Vicious lies and fantasies. It's always been obvious how mom and dad felt about you. You were a burden and a nuisance at best. Why would they do 180 all of a sudden now? They never loved you.
I'm glad they never loved me. The thought that I could have actually turned out like you, a self-obsessed narcissist who thinks the world revolves around them, makes me shudder. All I feel for you is pity. The only thing in this world you have to be proud of are your rapidly deprecating looks, and I pity you from the bottom of my heart.
I don't need your pity. The only one deserving of pity here is you, the withered old hag. Those parents never loved her.
There you go again. You talk about people as if their appearance is the only thing that matters. Love that expects some kind of reward isn't love at all.
Is this bold font all you've got? You really are pathetic. To think the woman who spent her entire life on the losing side, having everything she held dear stolen from her, would have the nerve to speak to me like that.
And yet you tried to steal this pathetic old hag's husband. What does that make you? Are my hand-me-downs the best you can do? How about you find someone with your own hard work, based on your own merit, who loves you for you? You know, like I did. The most important person in my life, who you're not capable of stealing. I found him with my own hard work and determination. There's not a single person on this planet who loves you for who you are because you're rotten to the core. You wasted your life playing malicious games to massage your overinflated ego. And where did it get you? You really are pathetic. Unable to cope with the thought of being rejected, apparently Tamsin went on the offensive against mom and dad, demanding they choose between me and her. Of course, mom and dad, who only judged books by their covers, chose me and my high-earning husband. That was the spark that started the fire, and before long, the entire street was woken up at 2 a.m. by the argument to end all arguments, which resulted in mom and dad booting her out. Unable to cope without a constant stream of praise and approval from others, Tamsin started working in the adult industry. But even that didn't last long. Competing for work with girls much prettier and younger than her, she was treated like used goods, found it impossible to stay afloat, and was forced to quit. Refusing to accept reality, she then applied for a series of high-class escort agencies. They all turned her down. How do I know this, you ask? She posted it all on her Peep Book page. Last I heard, she was etching out a living with money from the wallets of her multiple lovers and sugar daddies. But when I say etching out, I really mean it. She begs mom and dad to take her back on practically a daily basis. It seems like she didn't learn anything from what I told her at the end. I have a feeling she'll live out the rest of her days in self-absorbed ignorance and nothing will change. As for my parents, who initially had no interest in my wedding, they had a mysterious change of heart the moment Tamsin told them he was a high earner in a managerial role at a major company. Apparently, they tried to get Tamsin to convince him to marry her instead at first. But when they realized he had no interest in her online advances, they switched tactics to cozying up to me in an attempt to mend our troubled relationship. I've been working at a prestigious insurance company since I graduated college, and I bring in a decent salary myself. It must have finally dawned on them that I was infinitely more valuable to them than the long-term unemployed and impossibly selfish Tamsin. Obviously, I have no interest in having anything to do with them for as long as I live, so I got a new phone number, and me and our husband moved into our new place together. Naturally, I didn't tell them my new address, nor do I intend to. With that, the messages from them finally stopped, and me and my husband are enjoying our newly married life together. I don't need any of them in my life. The parents who raised me and my sister constantly comparing us and playing favorites, or the sister who made it her life's mission to steal everything I hold dear. From here on out, it's just me and my husband, who chose me and only me and loves me for who I am. We're currently in the process of trying to create a big, happy family, if you catch my drift. Dad, I want to come home. I'm so uncomfortable living with this guy I don't know.
Huh? What are you talking about? Don't be silly, honey. Of course you know him. You're living with Mr. Fritz.
But me and him have nothing to do with each other. Why do I have to live at your boss's house? I know you said it was for my own good, but did you really mean that? You brought and left me here one day all of a sudden. Then you had all my belongings sent here. Isn't this all just a little too much? You never even asked me whether I wanted any of this.
Molly, the reason I did this is because I want you to be happy. If you live with my boss, you get to eat luxurious, expensive foods every day. Plus, all of your tuition fees for that elite technical school you've got your heart set on will be covered. Don't you think these are some pretty attractive benefits? I have my debts to think about too, you know. As much as it pains me, I couldn't realize my dreams for you by myself. At least this way, you get to live the life you want, right? You understand, don't you, Cupcake? I wanted to give you a life free of worry and financial hardship.
You didn't have to do that. I never asked you to realize my dreams for me. As for the tuition fees for the technical school, there are scholarships, and I could always find a part-time job and save up money that way.
Oh, Molly. What will it take for you to understand? The real world is a lot harsher and more unforgiving than you think.
Anyway, living with your boss isn't worth any of those things. I hate it here and I want to come home. He always stares at me with these creepy eyes. It makes me so uncomfortable you wouldn't believe. I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder and worrying about what he'll do next. Please, Dad, I'm reaching my emotional limit.
Like hell he'd do something like that. Are you claiming my boss is some kind of weirdo? Don't insult him like that.
It's the truth. Please believe me. I don't have any friends in school, so there isn't even anyone else I can talk to about this. I feel totally alone. I'm begging you, Dad. I can't take it anymore. He sends chills down my spine. I'm not exaggerating. He's literally the creepiest guy I've ever met. What am I supposed to do?
Calm down, Molly. Okay? You think too much. How big do you think the age gap between you and my boss is? He's almost 30 years older than you. Do you seriously think someone old enough to be your dad would be interested in you in that way?
Huh? I messaged you exactly because I think that. Why are you ignoring what I say? I love you, Dad. How could you do this to me? What's going on with you? What are you thinking? I don't recognize you anymore. I'm your own daughter. I'm telling you I'm struggling and need your help, and you don't even believe me? You're the worst.
Sorry, Cupcake. I'd love to do something about it, but that's just not going to be possible given my position right now. I mean, I already moved house, which is why you have nowhere to live except my boss's place now.
What? What did you do with the house?
I sold it.
Oh my God, are you joking? That house was full of memories of Mom, and you sold it? You sold it without even telling me.
What else was I supposed to do, Cupcake? I was late on my debt repayments and they weren't gonna pay themselves. Your mom is probably cheering me on from heaven, you know? She wouldn't want to see me struggling financially.
Why didn't you even talk to me about it? Surely that was the least you could have done. That house was full of our memories together as a family. It was the only place I truly felt at home. The only place I felt like Mom was still somehow with us in some way. Why would you do this?
So you could go and live with Mr. Fritz.
Listen to me, Dad. Is there really no way I can come and live with you? Was this really just so you could pay off your debts?
Of course it was, Cupcake.
You wouldn't lie to me, right? You wouldn't hide anything from me, right?
Like I said, you're living there to help me pay off my debts. Listen, the bottom line here is that you have nowhere to live except Mr. Fritz's house. And there's nothing either of us can do to change that. You only have 6 months of high school left now. You do want to graduate high school, don't you? If you moved out now, you'd have to drop out of school. And you'd enter the world of work as a middle school graduate. Do you know what that kind of life would look like? Do you? Is that what you want? If it's not, then please get through this somehow, Cupcake. Do it for your future. You probably just feel anxious because you're not used to living with my boss yet. He's a great guy, you'll see. If you could just do your best to hold out a little longer, taking things one day at a time, I'm sure you'll get used to him. If you don't, and after you graduate high school you still want out no matter what, then I'll consider some other options, okay? I want you to remember that I'm on your side, Molly, and I never abandon you, okay? Molly, where are you? Hey, answer the phone now!
I won't.
What the hell did you go and do? I just heard from my boss. He said you escaped? What the heck are you playing at?
What do you mean, what did I go and do? Do you have any idea how much he terrified me? He made me go out to a fancy restaurant with him on my birthday. When we got out, he grabbed hold of my arm and dragged me somewhere against my will. Do you know where he took me? Did he tell you? You know, don't you?
Sheesh, what's the big deal? It was just some run-of-the-mill business hotel.
Which part of that hotel had anything to do with business? I can't take it anymore. I seriously can't take anymore. Everyone has a breaking point and this is mine. Even just thinking about it is traumatic. God, he's so gross.
Fine. I'm gonna come and pick you up. Can you at least tell me where you are?
Huh? No way am I telling you.
What? Why not? How am I supposed to help you if you won't tell me where you are? I'm really worried about you, Cupcake, so you have to tell me, okay?
You help me? You worry about me? You're the one who sold me to your freaking boss. It's nothing but lies, Dad. Do you actually think it's gonna work with me anymore? I heard everything about how you said he could do whatever he wanted to me when I reached 18. You said that, didn't you, Dad? In return for him reversing your dismissal from the company and having him take over your debt repayments. You sold him to me in return for all of that, didn't you?
Don't be ridiculous. You don't really believe that, do you, Cupcake? What kind of dad sells their own daughter?
You. It was my birthday today. You knew that when you sold me. I don't want anything to do with you ever again. You could disappear off the face of the earth and I wouldn't care. I wish you at least had the decency to get the hell out of my life before you put me through this hellish ordeal, though.
Get out of your life? You're just being silly now. Anyway, get back to Mr. Fritz's house at once. Your whining is tedious, and I'm done listening to it. Did you hear me? I said get back to my boss's house right now. Can you do this for me? For your dad? Please, Cupcake.
I won't go back, and I won't do anything you say. Someone more important than you or your boss helped me out. It's all over now.
Huh? Someone more important than me or my boss? What are you talking about? I'm your dad, which means I can do whatever I want with you. Is this how you repay me for all the time, effort, and money I put into raising you? With spite and disobedience?
I don't want to believe it, that you don't love me. It was such a shock because I loved you. And I mean, what daughter wants to accept their own dad would do something like that to them? But you know what? I'm actually pleased. Because there's nothing more reassuring than the promise of one's own safety. And I have that now. Bye.
Hey! Just you wait! Molly! President Cooper,
Oh, I see you still haven't been arrested.
I'd appreciate if I could speak to you one more time about the matter of what happened recently. I want to ask if you'll at least allow me the privilege of meeting my daughter one last time.
Mr. White, my old employee, what are you talking about? You don't have a daughter, do you?
Please, sir, respectfully, but I don't think this is the time for jokes. I'm talking about Molly. I implore you not to believe a word she says. It's nothing but baseless lies and deluded fantasy. She lost her mother at a very early age, and as a result, she's very emotionally unstable and has a tendency to say inappropriate things. That's why I need you to believe me when I tell you neither me nor Mr. Fritz have done anything worthy of criticism.
You were never any good at your job, Mr. White, and you were one of the least enthusiastic employees I've ever seen. In spite of that, I still believed in you for some reason, but I had no idea you were the kind of dirtbag who'd sell your daughter.
Sir, I must reiterate my previous point that I did not, in fact, sell my daughter.
I'm not interested in hearing your excuses. You just said Molly's claims were deluded fantasy, didn't you? Me and my wife just saw her running away from Mr. Fritz, one of our former executives and your old boss, at a hotel. If what she's saying is deluded fantasy, what do you suppose it was that we saw? Baseless lies? Emotional instability?
No, certainly, sir. You make a compelling case, and wow, I must say, you put it so eloquently, too. Truly a man worthy of the esteemed title of CEO. The problem is that the story you post seems to differ slightly from the version of events I myself was aware of.
Do you still have no idea the gravity of what you've done? You sold your own daughter to your boss for no other reason than to pay off your debts, concerned with nothing more but your own self-preservation. Mr. Fritz has already been arrested. I find the thought of people as depraved as you two working at my company quite frankly terrifying, and I will stop at nothing to ensure your total eradication from the company ranks once and for all.
President Cooper, what's going to happen to me? I won't really be arrested, will I? Isn't there anything you can do about this? You know, pull some strings, make some phone calls? You're a very powerful man, after all. Please, allow me to take this opportunity to once again apologize sincerely for my careless mistake 2 months ago that led to our company losing a major client. I swear to commit my life to serving you and this company to the utmost of my ability. Please, allow me another chance to prove myself and make all this go away somehow. I'll do anything. Being allowed the great privilege of entering this fine company was the only thing I've ever been proud of in my entire life.
Give it a rest, you sniveling weasel. You prioritize your own financial well-being over your daughter's physical safety and mental health, and you call yourself a father? She's your flesh and blood. I feel genuine horror when I reflect on what you did. I feel actual insanity in your words when I listen to your groveling, sycophantic brown-nosing after the fact. Entering my company's the only thing you've ever been proud of, you say? Where's your pride as a father?
Well,
You evidently never felt any in the first place. I can't tolerate people like you. And I feel confident in saying that the majority of the other 8 billion people on the planet are with me on that one.
Are you sure this is what you want to do?
Excuse me?
I take it this means you don't care what happens to your company.
What are you trying to say?
Your company's reputation will be destroyed over this. You'll lose your position in society, and no one will want to risk doing business with you again. Because you employed someone like me. There'll be no end to the anonymous criticism and harassment campaigns you'll be subjected to. And you'll be lampooned from all angles. Everything you worked so hard to build will come to ruin. It'll only be a matter of time before you go bankrupt. However, if I remain here, that can all be avoided. If you can use your power and influence to prove my innocence against these hurtful accusations, that is, Mr. Fritz did this all on his own after all, didn't he? How does that sound? Do we have an arrangement? I think you'll agree that this isn't a bad offer for you. In fact, I think you might find it quite beneficial. You're a smart man, Cooper. I think you understand what I'm saying. So what'll it be, President? Will you work with me on this?
I see. Interesting.
Not a bad idea for someone so bad at his job, huh?
Sorry, Mr. White, but the only outcome I'm interested in here is one that involves you being behind bars wearing orange.
Huh?
Please, look at this online news site. Hang on, I'll send you the link. Silicon Valley CEO rescues 18-year-old high school student is the name of the article.
Huh? What?
Seems like it's going viral. I caught a glimpse of it on both the local and national news programs too. It really seems to be doing the rounds. No names have been released, so pretty much nothing has changed at the company for me or any of the employees. Did you read the article? They're singing my praises like you wouldn't believe. You should take a look. It's very relevant to you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on a second! This has to be fake, right?
Don't you think the contents are a little too accurate for it to be fake? Not a hint of criticism or a single negative portrayal of me.
This can't be happening.
Anyway, even if my company did go bankrupt, I'd just start over and rebuild from scratch. I am in the very favorable position of having more money than I know what to do with. Not to mention the many connections I forged with key players in the industry over the years. Your fate is already decided.
President Cooper, please! I'm begging you! Please, help me somehow! There has to be something you can do! I don't deserve this!
I'm about to take these chat logs to the police station where they'll be submitted as evidence. Would you like to add anything final before I do? Forgive me for cutting the conversation short, but you're irritating me now.
Please do something! Anything! I'm begging you!
Now it's your turn. I'm selling you to the police.
My dad was arrested immediately after, and he and his old boss, Mr. Fritzl, were sentenced to hard prison time. I was so overjoyed and relieved by the news that they wouldn't get out for at least a few years that I cried. When Mr. Cooper, the CEO of my dad's old company, stepped in to help me, I asked him, "Why would you help me, a complete stranger?" As human beings, our highest priority is ultimately ourselves, and while those around us may be in trouble, they're still just strangers in the end. There's no meaning or merit to be had in helping them, right? Or so I thought. That's what I asked him, almost without thinking. Speaking honestly at the time, I genuinely saw no point in spending my time helping people I had no connection to. Mr. Cooper just said, "I know better than anyone what it feels like to be overwhelmed with gratitude and joy when someone helps you in your hour of need." And with no further elucidation, dropped me off in front of his house with his wife. Initially, it seemed like I'd have no choice but to go into a care home because I had no relatives to speak of. But Mr. Cooper's wife hugged me tightly and through floods of tears kindly said to me, "Molly, you're more than welcome to live here with me and my husband for as long as you need, if it's what you want, of course." I accepted and lived with the two of them for about 2 months. I'm certain it was thanks to Mr. Cooper I was able to stay there, and I'll be eternally grateful for the way he was there for me when I needed a helping hand more than ever. This all happened a few years ago, and now I'm working happily at Mr. Cooper's company, which he renamed and relocated not long after the whole Mr. Fritzl incident. The new HQ isn't too far from Mr. and Mrs. Cooper's house, which gives me great peace of mind in the event that there's any kind of emergency. He stressed empathetically that I didn't have to work at his company out of any obligation to him, and encouraged me only to stay if it was what I truly wanted. But what I truly want is to repay the debt of gratitude I owe to the man who saved my life. I still think about what happened back then from time to time, back when I had no friends or a soul in the world to rely on, and even my own family couldn't be trusted. I'm so happy now that that period in my life almost feels like a dream. Now I'm blessed with a workplace that's full of laughter, a close group of friends the same age as me, and a new family. I want to continue my life with a positive, outward-facing attitude. Just like my role models, Mr. and Mrs. Cooper. Thank you so much.
Vincent, do you have overtime today too? Your supper's waiting for you. Should I start eating without you?
If you want. You must be a real moron if you've been sitting there waiting for me all this time.
Why do you have to speak to me like that? There's just no need. Did you forget already how mad at me you were last time when I ate supper without you?
That's because it was still too early then. It's 10 p.m. now. This time's different. You don't have to wait around for me forever like some lapdog. Start using your own brain and eat without my permission from now on.
Fine, I will. What time do you think you're gonna get off tonight? Is this the same project you've been working on all month?
What difference would it make if you knew?
I was just wondering roughly what time I should expect you back. If I'm still awake, I don't mind making you something light. You're probably gonna be pretty tired.
You needn't bother. If you're cooking, I'll just eat out instead.
What? Why?
I'm getting kind of bored of your cooking lately, Helen. It's, how to put this, dry, bland, flavorless, and uninspiring. I put up with it all this time hoping you'd learn and improve, but it's just as hopeless as ever. You're getting worse, if anything. I'd rather eat out than force myself to eat your prison mush again.
But I get new recipes off the internet and try making things all the time. Prison mush? How could you say that?
The recipes might change, but the person doing the cooking is just as much of a flop as she always was. Your cooking just doesn't taste good, Helen. I kept it quiet this whole time because I'm a nice guy, but everyone has their limits. To put it bluntly, you have no sense.
Is it really that bad? You always used to seem like you were enjoying it.
What, back when we just got married? Give me a break! Which freshly married guy wouldn't tell his wife her food was delicious, even if it wasn't? That's just how it works. Things have changed. I'm not obligated to lie to protect your feelings, or not have you sulk on me anymore.
I see. I'm sorry. I could do better. I'll study the cookbooks and improve my game. I can do it!
Cookbook study isn't gonna help you. We're way past that. How long have you been doing this now? You've been a stay-at-home housewife for what, 5 years? It's pretty obvious you already hit your peak if you didn't improve at all in that time. There's no harm in just accepting it, you know? It's okay to admit you suck at something.
Vincent, I can't help but feel you've been a little cold towards me lately. The things you say, you've become so abusive. I do my best with the cooking, you know? I really do. I know you work hard, and I always try to make sure you have something you enjoy waiting for you on the table when you get home. You don't have to speak to me like that. It's like I'm not even human.
And it's not just the cooking. You're getting old, too.
Well, I guess I'm 30 now.
I thought you were a real cutie back when you had your youthful good looks. But now, you're just a worn-out hag in her 30s. It's actually kind of sad to see how much your looks have deteriorated. That said, that's no excuse for rudeness. Mom and Dad always taught me to respect the elderly, so of course I'm gonna be super nice to you as always.
Wow, Vincent, you're a real charmer. A worn-out old hag. You're hardly one to talk, are you? If you're gonna say that about me, I could just easily call you an old man, you know.
You idiot! A man is like a fine wine. He grows in value as he ages. I'm only gonna keep getting more attractive from here on out. Women, on the other hand, and I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, sweet cheeks, lose value with every day that passes by. Without your looks to rely on, you're nothing. You really should understand this by now.
I had no idea you felt that way about women.
This ain't just how I feel, babe. This is how all men feel deep down. Wanna know why? 'Cause it's the truth! Not only that, but you're a stay-at-home housewife, which makes your value to society lower than a piece of garbage.
Garbage? Don't you think that's going a little too far? My God, you're horrible! Besides, you're the one who wanted me to become a stay-at-home housewife in the first place! You practically begged me! It's not like I wanted to stop working and dedicate my entire life to being your live-in slave.
Slave? Don't make me laugh! If you wanted to keep your job so damn bad, why did you resign as soon as I asked you to? Your life has been a breeze ever since. Seriously, you never had it so good, and you have the nerve to complain? Get out of here.
I resigned because you said you wanted me to focus on the housework, and I wanted to make you happy. Plus, your mom and dad were always opposed to us both working, and I didn't want to rock the boat. It wasn't an easy decision, I could assure you. You have no idea how many sleepless nights I had in the run-up to actually handing in my resignation.
You still did it though, and it was ultimately your decision. Stop trying to blame everything on me. You act like you have no free will of your own. If my parents told you to jump off a cliff, would you do that? Yeah, you know what? If we're gonna have this goddamn waste of energy discussion, I may as well make it known what a complete waste of space loser you are. How do you like them apples, huh? You're nothing without me. You hear me? I've met slugs more productive than you.
There goes that famous charm of yours again. If I'm so useless, why were you so desperate for me to become a housewife? If you're gonna treat me like dirt, then I'll just go back to work.
Oh, no you don't. The housework ain't gonna do itself, woman.
Do it yourself.
You really think I've got enough free time to be doing your job as well as my own? I'm a busy guy, Helen.
Then, what is it gonna take to make you happy? What happened to you, Vincent? What happened to the Vincent I fell in love with? You never used to be this cold, heartless brute.
You've changed too, Helen.
Huh?
Your face is all saggy now. You have wrinkles around your mouth too. What happened to my submissive, obedient Helen? And what the hell did I do to deserve this sassy bitch queen who thinks she has to talk back to me every time I speak? You don't have to answer. I know it's because you turned into a jaded old hag.
Oh my god. Are you saying the only value I ever had to you was my youth?
I mean, I never put it as bluntly as that. But if that's what you think, then I'm not gonna argue over it.
I can't believe you're being like this.
It's about time you knew your place, woman. You better make sure you work extra hard from now on to make sure I don't get completely bored of you.
Vincent, it's about the divorce papers you slammed on the table while I was eating my sugar loops in the morning.
Did you sign them?
Not yet.
Why not? Be a darling and hurry up and get it done. Don't tell me you plan on clinging to me. We're finished. Accept it.
I can't believe you do this on my birthday of all days. How could you be so heartless?
I want a divorce. Whether it's your birthday or not doesn't change that. I'm not gonna play games with you. You'll get no fake kindness or insincerity from me. It might not feel great, but at least you know where you stand. Look on the bright side. Me being a heartless douchebag should make this a whole lot easier to go through with it.
On the part where it says reason for divorce, you wrote because I'm 30? That's why you're divorcing me?
Well, it's not exactly like that. But look, I can't deny it. Attraction is important in a relationship, babe. And to tell you the truth, old ladies just don't do it for me.
So a 30-year-old is just an old hag to you?
Face it, we're just not gonna see eye to eye on this. This is a fundamental difference in the way we view the world. Sign the damn papers already and stop giving me a hard time. Why would you ever want to stay with me? You'll only carry on getting hurt.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about you lately, and I realized you've been being more and more horrible to me with every year I get older. I didn't want to accept it at first, but when I thought about it, the pattern was too obvious to ignore.
Oh no, did I get found out? You gotta admit though, I was pretty nice to you until you were 28, right? Say what you want about me, but a girl will get my respect and affection while she still brings something to the table.
I see. I have absolutely no objection to divorcing you.
Thank God for that. That's settled then. Make sure the divorce papers are signed and on the table by the time I get home. And once you've done that, make the necessary preparations for getting the heck out of my life!
I'll sign the papers on one condition.
Huh? One condition? What are you talking about?
Admit to the affair and pay me compensation.
What the hell?
Did you just think I'd sat around doing nothing these last few months? You always said you were doing overtime, and yet not a single cent ever appeared in your wages. Even if it was unpaid overtime, you were still coming home way later than your boss would ever expect you to stay behind at the office, even on his worst days. I've had my doubts for a while now.
You got any proof? This is a pretty wild accusation you're making. I suggest you choose what you say next very carefully.
Is that a threat? I'm saying it precisely because I have proof. You've been meeting some young floozy behind my back, haven't you? You've been cheating on me. So, what's it gonna be? I'm happy to take this through the courts, if that's what it takes. And don't think I'm backing down. So, make up your mind. You gotta own up to what you've done. Or shall we leave it to the judge instead?
this is why old hags like you grind my gears. You go learning about things you have no business knowing, then you go making threats you have no right to make? Compensation? You've got some nerve.
Me? All I'm doing is defending myself. You're the one who's cheated on me in the first place.
Yep, whatever. I'm the bad guy. I'll pay the compensation, no biggie. You goddamn worn-out old hag. You're way past your sell-by date. Turns out your personality is just as rotten as your face. It's because you're twisted enough to try to pull masculine crap like this to salvage your dignity that I'm tossing you aside.
Nothing you say could possibly hurt me anymore. I've heard it all before.
So this new chick I'm dating, she's got a cute face and a banging body. The most delicious pair of melons on her chest and the juiciest peach a man ever did see. Her personality's not bad either. Plus, she can cook. She's the whole package. She blows you out of the water. You probably just burst into tears from the crushing feeling of inferiority just from standing next to her. You really think a used up, worn out, bitter old has-been like you has any hope at finding love again? Maybe if you settle for some 40-year-old fat dude who lives in his mom's basement. Good luck with loser life. Lord knows you're gonna need it. Think of the compensation you get from me as a cheer of encouragement to get you started.
No matter what happens, I'll be a million times happier than you make me.
Impossible! All the high-value guys are gonna be taken by young, quality women. In a sense, it must be liberating. You're so withered and past it, there's no point in trying. After all, how can things get any worse when you're already at rock bottom? That has to be a positive.
Marriage isn't the only form of happiness in life.
Spoken like a true loser. You don't have to try putting on a bold front with me, sweet cheeks. I know how destroyed and broken you are inside. The only life that awaits you now is one filled with the regret of getting dumped by a high-earning stud from a major company.
You really are the lowest of lows. Marrying you was the biggest mistake of my life.
Really? It wasn't all bad for me, you know. I was happy at the start. I got the privilege of enjoying you during the peak of youth, you know, before everything started sagging. You might be a bitter, greedy ball of worn-out flab now, but things weren't always this bad. And I'm pleased to say I got the privilege of harvesting your fruits before the drought set in.
You'll regret saying all those hurtful things one day. And you know what? It's gonna be beautiful. I can't wait.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, babe, but I have a banging hot young girlfriend, and things in my life could not be going better. Sucks to be you, huh? You, on the other hand, you better start job hunting. But wait! Oh no! How are you gonna explain that huge stay-at-home housewife gap on your resume? Face it, you're useless to society now. Hopefully you can at least leverage that supreme arrogance of yours to your advantage. Good luck! I'll be rooting for you from a tiny corner in the back of my mind as your ex-husband. Long time no see.
Who's this?
It's me, you doofus. Vincent.
What do you want?
No need to be so cold. Did your personality get even worse the more you aged?
If you didn't message me for a reason, I'm just gonna block you.
No, wait a sec. There's a reason I messaged you, actually.
What?
It just so happens that I saw you by chance last week. Obviously, you got even wrinklier because it's been a whole 10 years, but you actually didn't look that bad for an old hag. I gotta give you some credit.
I see.
Then when I brought you up with a shared acquaintance of ours, she told me you were the CEO of a company now. My jaw nearly hit the floor. You sure came a long way since your days of being a piece of garbage.
By being a piece of garbage, I take it you mean stay-at-home housewife?
You're working now, so surely you understand how useless and unproductive someone who's only capable of doing housework is, I mean. What a drain on society. Doesn't it just make you sick? You were young back then, so I guess I can forgive you.
I think a housewife's job is just as worthy of respect and admiration as any others.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I heard you made a company that employs housewives. What was it again? Housekeeping services? I knew it as soon as I heard. You only did it to spite me. It's obvious.
Sorry, Vincent, but this conversation isn't productive enough for me to continue engaging with. So rather than entertaining your fatuous nonsense for a second longer, how about you tell me who it was that you gave my contact information?
Elena, you know, the one who managed that corporate event you and I met at all those years back?
Why would Elena do that? She's the last person in the world I'd expect to leak my details to you.
Me and some of the guys at work, we threw a big drinking party with one of our major clients the other day, and Elena tagged along. I may have borrowed her phone while she went to the toilet and had a little peek.
Well, I see you're just as much of a scumbag as you always were.
What was I supposed to do? You didn't tell me anything about you being a CEO now. So I had a little peek, that's all. What's the harm? She didn't even know. I really wanted to talk to you, so I had no choice.
You're a complete stranger to me now.
Damn, I might be too late. Seems like your personality's so warped, you can't even converse on a basic level now. Getting dumped all those years back must have really taken its toll on you.
You still haven't mentioned anything that qualifies as a legitimate reason for contacting me out of the blue after 10 years. Admit it, you didn't need to talk to me about anything at all, did you? I don't have time to waste on childish conversations with you. I'm blocking you. I'll also be telling Elena that you looked at her phone while she wasn't looking.
Wait, I'm about to make you an offer you can't refuse.
An offer I can't refuse?
You're 40 now, right? You did pretty well to become a CEO, I'll give you that. But no matter how well your work life is going, your private life must be pretty lonely, right?
Excuse me?
You looked somehow tired of everything when I saw you. I thought you might be in need of a little action, if you catch my drift. Well, I just want you to know that I'm willing to step up to the task. I can be your guy.
What are you talking about?
Let's face it, you're old, you're dried up, and you probably get less action than a comic book enthusiast. How long has it been? Years? A decade? Well, in my infinite kindness and benevolence, I'm willing to satisfy your needs for the low price of $750 a time. How does that sound? You know it's the best you're gonna get, so don't even bother pretending to be shocked. I know you like the back of my hand, inside and out, every solitary crevice, every hidden nook and cranny. So leave everything to me, sweet cheeks. Your mind, your body, your soul, I've got you covered.
Gross. It's actually impressive how shamelessly you're able to say such disgusting things. Oh. My husband says you're to go to the CEO's office first thing tomorrow morning. Go up to the reading room as soon as you get to the office.
Huh? The CEO's office? Wait, what? Your husband?
Yes, my husband. That means the guy I'm married to.
You got married again?
That's right.
Why didn't you tell me that earlier? I only volunteered because I felt bad thinking you were a lonely spinster. I'm not interested in some old hag's wife.
You're the one who assumed I was single despite knowing nothing about me anymore.
Well, anyone who'd marry you can't be all that much. Who is he? Some basement-dwelling nerd? A homeless guy? A drug addict? No self-respecting man would marry a worn-out 40-year-old divorcee. He's probably fat and bald, or old, or all of the above. I know it!
Did you forget what I just told you?
Huh? What are you talking about?
I said you're to go to the CEO's office as soon as you get to work in the morning.
Why would I have to go to the CEO's office? Stop talking crap! Oh no, you're not getting Alzheimer's too, are you? The last thing you need is your wits going the same way as your looks, but I guess it was inevitable. Stop talking crap, you pathetic old bat.
My husband is the CEO of your company.
Huh?
Does the name Alvin Musk ring a bell? Well, he's my husband now. He's also watching this entire conversation.
Gah, you're joking, aren't you? Yes, you have to be. This is all just one big, silly joke, isn't it? Tell me it is.
It isn't. That's why Alvin wants to see you in his office first thing tomorrow morning. You've hurled your fair share of malicious abuse at me, and you will be punished accordingly.
Helen, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. You see, I've had a fever these last few days, and I haven't been feeling myself. I think I need a warm drink and some rest. I really am sorry, and by that I mean super sorry. Did I mention how sorry I am? And Mr. Mosk, sir, please forgive me for my disgraceful behavior. The things I said about your beautiful, kind, intelligent wife, there's just no forgiving them. I don't know what came over me.
It's too late.
No, please! There was no ill will behind any of it!
Are you really claiming you said everything you did with no ill will? That's not gonna fly with me. Regardless, whether there was ill will or not, you said what you said, and the consequences will be what they will be. Nothing changes.
I'm so sorry! Look, to tell you the truth, my life hasn't been going so well lately. I've had all this pent-up frustration, and when I heard about how well you were doing, I took my anger out on you.
Do I look like your punching bag?
I'm sorry, my actions are unforgivable. I promise I'll never contact you again. I'll never say anything mean to you again.
I heard your lover pulled a vanishing act on you after divorce. Is that true? I also heard you haven't heard from her since. Oh, could it be that she was only after your money all along? And as soon as she realized you guys wouldn't be eating out as much anymore due to the compensation you owed, she lost interest?
How did you know that?
A little birdie told me. I have friends in all sorts of places, and you wouldn't believe the things I hear. Did you really think you had any allies in your crowd you constantly ranted to? About how women in their 30s are basically grandmas these days? Or how stay-at-home housewives are human garbage? You even got warned once at work about your hateful remarks.
I'm just the type of person who says what's on my mind, that's all. I never meant to upset anyone. Why do people have to read so deeply into things?
Ah, I see. So you're free to say whatever you like as you never meant to hurt anyone, is that right? In that case, let's just make something clear. You're a worthless scumbag. You're a worn-out, desperate, pathetic old man with no value to anyone who blew all his money on a gold digger. Your personality's rotten to the core, and you're beyond saving. You're not just a disgrace to humanity. That would be putting it too mildly, but to all forms of life in the universe. That's why no one wants anything to do with you. You've really gone down in the world, huh? You used to be so full of pride and bluster, and now look at you. A lonely old man reduced to begging for money from his ex-wife.
That was just uncalled for.
Oh, that's funny. I thought I could say whatever I wanted. There's no ill will, you know. I was just taking a leaf out of your book, Vincent. What's the issue?
Helen, it was wrong of me to divorce you like that.
I disagree. I think it was the best thing you ever did. I'm so much happier without you in my life.
Really? I can't say the same, babe. I'm at rock bottom here. Work is all I have left. You can't take that from me, too. Do you really want to back me into a corner like this? Without my job, I'll have nothing. Please, convince your husband, Mr. Mosk, to overlook this. Please, for old time's sake.
I'll do nothing of the sort. You're the one who messaged me today. I want you to remember that. You're the one who mocked and abused me. Would you mind explaining how you're suddenly the victim in all this?
I'm so sorry. I truly am sorry, Helen. I swear, I'll behave from now on. I'll never message you again. I'll dedicate my whole life to my work.
I'm pleased to hear you say that, but it's far too late. If only this had been your attitude from the beginning. Unfortunately for you, it's not down to me anymore. I'm leaving the rest to my husband.
Helen, please call him off! Find it in yourself to forgive me! I'll get on my knees! I'll do anything! I'll turn over a new leaf, I promise! I'm begging you! I'll clean your house! I'll get rid of the weeds in your garden! I'll wash yours and your husband's clothes! Please help me! I'll do anything! I mean it!
I don't need a slave. Besides, all that sounds very stay-at-home housewife, don't you think? Finally admitting to being a piece of human garbage, are we? You reap what you sow, but you know what? I'm happier than I've ever been right now. I have a loving husband at my side, and I'm surrounded by the most wonderful children. I have a room enough in my heart to support you.
You do? That's my girl. I knew you'd pull through. You really do have a big heart.
Huh? Oh, don't misunderstand me. I'm not gonna do anything for you. I'm just encouraging you to use the supreme arrogance of yours to make your life for yourself now. When I say I support you, I just mean I'll be rooting for you from the tiny corner in the back of my mind as your ex-wife. The next morning, my ex-husband Vincent was summoned to my husband's Elvin's office, and there, the CEO's office, he was dismissed and announced, "There have been several reports of him making hateful comments about women around the office. And not only that, but apparently he'd also been harassing and bullying some of the newer members and staff." Elvin said he had no other choice but to let him go. The fact that he offered me sexual favors at $7.50 each is pretty far outside of what's considered acceptable conduct for an employee towards the CEO's wife. It can't be said to have worked in his favor. Everything that happened to Vincent was, of course, entirely his own fault. And soon it became obvious that he didn't have any allies in the company, when not a single person appeared to defend him. I have no idea how he continued to support himself after he lost his job. To be honest, I don't care. I'm just praying me and my family have nothing to do with him ever again. That said, I can't claim my feelings towards my ex-husband are entirely negative. If not for him in that dark period in my life, I wouldn't be leading the blissful, fulfilled life I am now. The company I set up is doing amazingly well, and I'm lucky enough to have a kind, loving husband and the most wonderful children a woman could ever hope for. None of that would have been possible if Vincent hadn't divorced me. It's not that I'm grateful towards him, but I'm grateful that it happened, and it played an important part in me moving on to the next stage in my life. The past is the past, and I don't intend on holding on to any of the negativity. In fact, my priority in life now is doing what makes me and my family happy. It's my mission to make sure my company is the best at what it does, and that my household is always full of love, warmth, and respect. Here's to the future.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Peep texts!
Hey, Sarah. Do you have a little time to talk?
Oh, hey, Clara. No problem. What's up?
You know that trip we're taking next weekend? The destination was up in Maine, but that place we're planning to stay at, that's your recommendation, right?
Yes, that's right. My mom used to stay there all the time when she traveled a lot, years ago. I also stayed there a few times, and they've been really good to me. It's what people call a bed and breakfast, but it's quite popular. Well known for its hospitality, but it's actually...
Well, about the place. I canceled it.
Okay. You... Hold on a sec. Canceled? Can I ask why?
Well, I was just outside. I was talking with the neighbors, and I came to the conclusion that this B&B, well, it just doesn't seem right for us.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, it's a B&B, according to my friend. It's way up in the mountains, right? You younger kids, well, it may suit you guys, but, you know, I'm much older. I'm not used to such extreme environments. So, we decided not to, you know, go there.
So you went and canceled our reservations? You do realize that the kids were really looking forward to staying there.
Before you go any further, I took the liberty to make reservations at another hotel. At a hotel in New York City. I made reservations at the Grand Hotel. The suite was available, so I made the reservations. It was $400 a night. A bargain. Apparently, there was a sudden cancellation. But considering the great service we get, I couldn't resist. $400 per night?
Is that per room?
With the whole family, we'll need 3 rooms. Yes, of course. We can't all stay in one room.
I had a hard time getting reservations for that place up in Maine. It's travel season, you know. Why'd you go and cancel it?
Are you worried about the cost? Don't worry about it. I'll pay for the grandkids. No problem there. Shall I pay for your husband's too? I will if you need me to.
No, that's okay. As for the kids, we'll work it out somehow, so don't worry about it. But could you please refrain from doing such things in the future? It really disrupts our plans, not to mention the embarrassment it causes. I mean, I do have responsibilities with regard to my relationship with the place.
Ugh, Sarah, you have no responsibilities to that B&B. Why worry about responsibilities? What you should be concerned about is the image. You have to impress people. I mean, a B&B in the mountains of Maine? Please, I can't boast about that. I would be perceived as some sort of country bumpkin.
Please, Carla, Mom. That so-called B&B isn't just some ordinary lodge. It's been operating since the 1920s, and some very well-known people have stayed there. I think even a US president. Of course, the service may not be on par with a luxury hotel in the city, but there's a reason why they've been in business for almost 100 years.
Am I hearing you correctly? Please stop lecturing me, Sarah. I have way more experience in such matters than you. Oh, you really are something. I didn't expect that from my daughter-in-law.
I'm not lecturing you, I'm just stating facts.
Let me stop you right there, Sarah. I've been going on such trips, both domestically and overseas, for years. Before you were even born, as a matter of fact. Who are you to tell me which hotel is good or bad? Besides, I bet you've only been on such trips only a handful of times. I don't like being lectured by an inexperienced person like yourself.
I understand.
Oh, yes, I forgot. On the day of the trip, let's meet at the airport. We're taking different flights. We arrive at LaGuardia Airport, at the newly built terminal. So don't go to the old one. You got that? I'll contact my son and tell him too, just in case. Hey, Sarah! Good news.
What is this about?
The hotel we're going to tomorrow? I just learned that a friend of mine that I worked with back in the day is apparently working there. Evidently, she saw my name on the guest list and contacted me right away.
Oh, really? Wow, that sounds great. That's such a coincidence.
Yes, a real stroke of luck, wouldn't you agree? And she also assured me that she would do all she can to give us the best room service and other accommodations. Super lucky, don't you think?
Yes, sure is. That's wonderful. I feel so silly that I doubted you.
Yes, that's for sure. My decision to change venues was not mistaken. I mean, really, an old mountain inn? No room service? Please. I'm sure the grandkids will be way happier staying at this luxury hotel rather than some antique B&B up in the mountains.
Yes, I'm sure you're right, Carla.
I just arrived at LaGuardia. Have you guys arrived yet? Where are you at? Can't seem to find you. Are you at the arrival lobby?
We're just getting ready to check in.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'll head over there right away. Oh, no. Hold on a second. Sarah, I made a huge mistake.
A mistake?
That's right. I just checked my hotel reservations and it seems I made reservations for 2 adults and 2 children. I'm so sorry. Oh, what was I thinking? And what's more, they said they were fully booked. No other rooms available. So, that means, and I'm sorry about this, but you're going to have to stay at another hotel alone. Oh, yeah, why not just sleep in the lobby? The Grand Hotel has a really spacious and comfortable lobby area.
Are you serious?
I don't really like saying this, but, well, seems like an opportune time to do so. I didn't want to be in your presence at such a luxury hotel. You know what I mean? You're not exactly glamorous or anything. So, I'm gonna be candid with you. I'm really sorry, but you're not wanted on this trip. Let me stop you right there, Mom. Who exactly do you think is not wanted on this trip? Huh? As I said, we just checked in. So, Carla, do as you please. Haha, what are you blabbering about? Are you planning on shutting me out? It's no use, Sarah. One word to management, and I'll get you kicked out of the hotel. I have a dear friend working there, or did you forget that? Enjoy the hotel while you can. I'll be there soon to have you kicked out. Hello? Sarah? What's going on? You guys haven't even checked in yet? Where are you? Are you out by the pool or what? Huh. As you suggested, I enjoy myself, so that's what I'm doing. Really enjoying myself, as a matter of fact. That outdoor spa was so refreshing. Outdoor spa? There's no outdoor spa here. I did tell you we'd already checked in, right? Just as I thought. This place is wonderful. The air up in the mountains of Maine is just so fresh. Huh? What did you just say? You're not serious. Does that mean you guys are up in Maine now? Yes, that's right. Are you out of your mind? Hold it one moment. This is a joke, right? No joke. Why would I joke about that? I'll send you a photo if you don't believe me. Here you go. I can't believe it. I just don't believe it. I thought I told you we would meet at the LaGuardia airport. My children told me everything. They said you were trash-talking me on the phone. They were crying that I was not going to stay with them, that it would be my husband, you, and the kids, that I would not be included. They were in tears, demanding to know why I was not included, that I was not going on the trip. They felt abandoned. They stood there, telling my husband and me this, tears streaming down their cheeks. Huh? Okay, so you hate me, but why go so far? Of course, that's not the only reason. You were going to just cancel, without even bothering to call them. Yeah, cancel, of course. People do it all the time. There's no need to cancel, just don't show up, and that's that. Besides, it's just an old dilapidated shack of a B&B. Why do you even know about this? Yeah, well, I called the place 3 days ago to apologize for the sudden cancellation. And they greeted me as usual, acting as if nothing had occurred, asking if the kids had any type of allergies or any specific ingredients that they didn't like. That's when I realized that you hadn't canceled. That was not right, not calling them. They run a business, you know. Actions like that could even land you in court. So, we had a family meeting. And as a result, well, here we are. Just lucky there was no cancellation fee. But I believe you're going to have to take care of that on your end. I think it's like 70% of the per night cost, if it's the day before. Maybe 100% on the same day. Don't really know their cancellation policy. Waste of money. My husband was furious. So anyway, we decided not to cancel and stay here as planned. But for you, I guess it's just a pittance. Stop right there, Sarah. I took the trouble of reserving a couple of suites at the Grand Hotel in New York. And this is the thanks I get? I will never, ever forgive you for what you pulled. A penniless down-and-outer like you. Now it's my turn to stop you, Carla. I let you go on and on like a broken record, but when it comes to hotels and resorts, I have way more experience and knowledge than you. Huh? How could you have more experience than me? You've only been on vacation a handful of times.
Do you know why that is?
Because you have no money?
No, because I plan and schedule all kinds of trips for customers as well as taking the occasional trip myself. Reason being, I'm currently a hotel concierge.
Work at a hotel? A concierge? What the hell is a concierge? Whatever.
A hotel concierge prepares and schedules travel details for the guests. That includes hotel reservations, of course, but also making reservations for restaurants or suggesting various attractions around a particular city or area. I make arrangements for a countless number of guests, which includes most of the East Coast, as well as in Europe. And I myself have visited most of these places as well.
Uh-huh. You arranging such a trip?
Yes, and this B&B we're staying at right now is a 5-star resort. It may have started out as a so-called B&B, but it's nothing of the sort now. More like a luxury resort.
This is unforgivable. Completely unforgivable. So what you're saying is I spend my time here in New York alone?
But you get to stay in a suite room all by yourself. Oh, what a dream come true. Wow, I really envy you.
So you're this so-called great concierge or whatever. So hurry up and make an arrangement to get the entire family over here and do it ASAP.
I really can't do that. I mean, just the distance alone. Figure it's about 500 miles. Or would you like to come up here? My husband and the kids aren't too keen on you joining us, but I'm fine with it. What do you say? You can catch the red-eye flight from New York to Portland. The flight is maybe an hour or two, and then you can rent a car from there. And it's maybe a 3-hour drive. Great scenery through the mountain roads. On second thought, maybe safer to stay at a local motel overnight. Look forward to seeing you.
Are you having severe mental problems? Besides, my friend here is doing all she can to give me the best service possible. If I do that, after what she's done for me, I have responsibilities too, you know.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Weren't you saying that's all image and being a responsible person means nothing?
That's different.
How so? Didn't you say, what was it? That it's all image, you have to impress people or something to that effect? Every time I met my mother-in-law, she would criticize me for this or that. I tried ignoring her, just nodded and agreed with everything silly that she said. But I was honestly quite shocked that she'd actually planned this whole trip, planned to exclude me. After that, I heard she was so angry that she insisted that the hotel serve her 4 meals that she had arranged. The hotel staff was really put in a difficult situation. In the end, they ended up calling a doctor to treat her. Indigestion, I guess. She apparently was not about to pay the cancellation fee. Her friend insisted that she leave, as the other guests were offended by her outrageous behavior. My husband was also at his wit's end and is seriously thinking of cutting off all ties with her. After we got back from the trip, he visited her and really gave her a piece of his mind. He hasn't talked to her in months. I can't really see him ever talking to her again. As for our family trip, we enjoyed great food, the beauty of the great outdoors, and that outdoor spa. We were superbly satisfied. We made a solemn oath to come back next year. I don't know if it was this incident that prompted it, but since we tended to go on such trips more often, where shall I plan the next family trip? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Claire, how long are you going to take with the dinner shopping? I'm already hungry.
Mother-in-law? I'm sorry, I'll be back soon. Please wait just a bit longer.
You should have started shopping earlier. I've been waiting for 30 minutes already.
I wasn't expecting guests today. I just stepped out for some quick errands.
Making your mother-in-law wait isn't appropriate. Even if you live in a fancy penthouse, people will laugh at your lack of manners.
You're right. Though, if you had told me you were coming beforehand, I wouldn't have kept you waiting.
Well, what difference would that make? I'm still waiting now.
I could have adjusted my schedule and prepared properly.
Are you suggesting I'm at fault?
No, that's not what I mean. I don't mind you visiting, but could you please give me advance notice?
Why should I need to announce when I'm visiting my son's home? Oh, that's too much trouble.
I have work commitments. James is working today too. It's becoming difficult when this happens repeatedly.
So work is more important than family? Is that what you're saying?
That's not it at all. I'm just trying to manage everyone's time better.
This is why I can't stand nouveau riche daughters. Just because your parents helped you live in this luxury high-rise, you look down on me?
How did we get there? That wasn't even part of our conversation.
Oh, don't pretend you don't understand. You think you're better than me because of this fancy apartment.
Mother-in-law, I've never thought that way.
You talk back because you look down on me. I am your mother-in-law. How can you not show proper respect? What kind of person are you?
Again, that's not the issue. I'm saying it's problematic when you show up unannounced several times a week. I'm not being disrespectful.
Several times a week? Are you counting my visits now? How petty can you be?
I'm just trying to explain my situation.
See, that's exactly what I mean by talking back. Really, my son married such a poorly educated woman. What terrible parents to raise such a daughter, even with all their money.
Fine, I understand. I spoke out of turn, but please, don't insult my parents.
Now you're defensive about your parents, but not about your attitude toward me?
I'm trying my best to be respectful.
You care about that, but not about your attitude toward me? Oh, fix your priorities and worry about how you treat me first.
I apologize. I'll be more mindful in the future.
Empty words. Show it with actions.
Yes, I understand.
You should have done that from the start. Now hurry back and make dinner. I want to eat before heading home.
Yes, I'll return right away.
And make sure it's something good, not those simple dishes you usually make.
I'll do my best to prepare something nice.
You better. After making me wait this long, it's the least you can do.
I understand. I'm heading to check out now.
Claire, I've come to visit again. Open up quickly.
Mother-in-law? Again? I asked you to notify us before coming.
You're still going on about that? Just open the door.
I'm not home right now.
And I said that's too much trouble. More importantly, hurry up. Even though there are sofas in the lobby, it's quite tiring to wait.
I'm really not at home. I can't open the door.
Oh, stop making excuses. The concierge said your car is in the parking lot.
James took the car today. I'm using public transport. I'm sorry you came all this way, but no one's home right now. Could you please come another time?
Why is no one home? Both James and you are off work today.
We had some important matters to handle.
What matters are more important than attending to your mother-in-law?
We're out on an errand. And I'm sorry, but could you please stop coming to our house from now on?
What? What do you mean, why can't I come?
There's been a change in our situation.
What situation? Stop being so mysterious.
Actually, my father's health has deteriorated. The company might be difficult to manage in its current state.
Oh, is that so? How unfortunate.
This isn't a laughing matter.
Why are you so serious? I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
My father's health is very important to me.
Sorry, it just slipped out. But what does that have to do with anything? Your father's health doesn't affect you two.
It affects us more than you think.
How so? You both have your own jobs.
Father asked me to take over the company. James and I decided to accept, but we'll need to go back to my hometown for a while to handle the transition and business matters. So we won't be able to receive visitors.
Is this some kind of joke? You're leaving your job?
It's not a joke. This is very serious.
Oh, is that so? Well, I understand the situation, but what about your current jobs?
We've already made arrangements.
What kind of arrangements?
James is transferring to a branch near my hometown. Since I'll be becoming CEO and there's no transfer option for me, I've resigned.
What's that? Oh, so Claire, you're unemployed now?
Well, technically yes, though it's more like a study and trial period.
So you're just going to throw away your career?
I'm taking on a bigger responsibility.
Then what's happening with this apartment?
We won't be using it for a while.
For how long?
I'll have a friend come clean occasionally. We probably won't be back for about 6 months, so it'll just stay as is.
6 months? Oh, that's a long time to leave such a nice place empty.
We've made the necessary arrangements.
What a waste. I know. I'll live here instead of you. Better me than having a neat like Claire living here. The apartment would be happier too.
What? How did you reach that conclusion? That's completely unreasonable.
How is it unreasonable? The apartment will be empty anyway.
That doesn't mean anyone can just move in.
I've already decided you won't be back for a while anyway, so what's the problem?
This is troublesome. We need to leave for my father's place soon, and we don't have time for this. Please don't cause problems.
I'm not causing problems. I'm offering a solution.
This isn't a solution. It's an invasion.
Oh, shut up. Just hand over the apartment. I'm not leaving until you do.
You can't just decide things like this.
Watch me. I'm staying right here.
Fine. I'll head back there now. We can discuss this when I arrive. Please don't do anything strange.
There's nothing to discuss. I've made up my mind.
We'll talk when I get there. Mother-in-law, are you still at our apartment?
Of course. As I said yesterday, I'm living here from today. You'll be at your father's place anyway. It's too late to complain now.
You can't just decide this on your own.
I already did. I spent the night here.
That doesn't make it right.
What's the problem? The apartment was going to be empty anyway.
It's not really a complaint, but honestly, both James and I are dumbfounded. We never thought you'd actually squat here.
Squat? How dare you? I am family.
Family doesn't take over someone's home without permission.
Say whatever you want. A spoiled girl like you, who's never worked hard, doesn't deserve to live luxuriously on her parents' money. This apartment is wasted on a neat like you.
I've worked for years. Becoming CEO isn't being a neat.
Running to Daddy's company isn't real work.
You don't know anything about the situation.
I know enough. You're just a privileged princess.
Fine, whatever you say. As you mentioned, it's too late now. Although we could have kicked you out yesterday, we didn't due to time constraints, so do whatever you want.
Oh, now you're trying to threaten me?
Not at all, just stating the facts.
You said it. I've taken screenshots of this line chat, so you can't take it back later.
There's no need for screenshots. I won't take it back.
Good, because I'm not leaving.
That's fine. We won't be back for a while anyway.
Finally, you're being sensible.
If that's how you want to see it.
Well, that's more like it. You're finally understanding your place as a daughter. After all your and James's disrespectful behavior, this is the least you can do.
If that's how you want to see it. By the way, I have a request.
What is it suddenly?
Something important needs to be done.
Oh, just say it already.
I'll bring some documents later for you to sign.
Documents? For what?
Legal requirements. Nothing complicated.
What kind of documents?
If you're going to live here, we need to change the name on the lease. It's important, so please sign them properly when I bring them.
This apartment belonged to your father, right?
Yes, that's right. Why do you ask?
Well, just making sure I understand everything.
And?
So changing the name won't cost anything. In that case, I don't mind signing.
That's good to know.
When will you bring them?
Glad you understand. I'll bring them over later. Oh, and feel free to use any furniture that's left.
Oh, really? Oh, that's quite generous.
Well, it makes sense.
What about the appliances?
We'll be living at my parents' house for a while and have taken what we needed. Please use whatever you like.
Perfect! Oh, everything's working out just as it should.
If you say so.
Thank you. Also, after you bring the documents, don't come back. This will be my house, so you should know better.
Of course. As I said earlier, I won't try to undo this arrangement. So please, live here with peace of mind.
Good. Oh, you're learning respect, finally.
If that's what you think.
That's all then. Good luck to you both. I'll be enjoying my carefree high-rise life. Oh, goodbye.
Goodbye, mother-in-law.
Don't forget those documents.
I won't. I'll bring them today.
Make sure everything's filled out properly.
Of course. Everything will be in order. Mother-in-law, it's been a while. The company handover is complete, and Father's condition has stabilized, so I came to give you an update. I'm in the lobby now. Could you let me up?
Oh, Claire. Oh, that's good news. But why are you here? Did you forget I told you not to come back?
I thought you might want to know how everything turned out.
Oh, you could have sent that in a message.
As I just said, I have some updates, and there's something else I need to tell you. It feels wrong to do this over line. Could you let me in?
Oh, whatever it is, just say it here.
Are you sure? This is quite important.
Obviously not. This is my house now. I'm not letting strangers in.
Strangers? I'm still your daughter-in-law.
You gave up that right when you left.
Are you sure you won't let me in? It's important.
Stop being dramatic. What could be so important?
It's about the apartment.
What about it? Everything's settled.
Not quite.
Even if you say that, no, I won't open the door. Just go home.
Home? That's actually what I wanted to discuss.
Stop being so mysterious. What do you want?
I see. That's unfortunate. I'll take my leave then. There's one thing I couldn't tell you, though. I'm the owner of this high-rise. Please don't fall behind in your rent. Can you make the payments?
What nonsense are you talking about?
Have you been receiving the payment notices?
What are you talking about? Rent? Arrears? And what do you mean you're the owner?
You know, my father's in real estate, right? Now that I'm CEO of the company, I'm the owner of this building.
Oh, stop joking around.
This isn't a joke.
I sort of understand that, but this is owned property, right? So there's no rent.
Where did you get that idea?
You never mentioned rent before.
No, that's not correct. Actually, I never said I wasn't paying rent. I was paying it too.
But when I asked before, you didn't say anything. You lied to me.
When did you ask about rent?
You should have told me.
I simply didn't correct your misunderstanding. I never lied. Besides, you've been receiving payment notices, right? Wouldn't a normal person realize something was wrong?
Those were... But I thought there was no rent, so I assumed they were my mistakes.
You assumed quite a lot.
You tricked me.
Then you should have verified that. This happened because you didn't even do that much. Now, can you pay the 6 months of back rent?
6 months? Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's how long you've been living here.
Even if rent is due, you're the owner now, right? Then you should pay it yourself. Why should I have to pay?
That makes no sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
Why would I pay your rent? Please don't say nonsensical things.
Why? Oh, because I'm your mother-in-law. Children have a responsibility to take care of their parents.
Is that what you really think?
Of course, it's only natural.
Someone who never acted like a parent has no right to demand filial responsibility.
How dare you?
I'm just stating the facts.
What? Are you saying I'm not a parent?
To me, you're just an annoying person who occasionally visits to make snide remarks. Moreover, someone who causes trouble out of jealousy towards their child. Neither James nor I consider you a parent.
Watch your mouth. Do you know who you're talking to?
Yes, I do. A troublesome tenant who's behind on rent? Well, if you don't want to pay, that's fine too. We'll just have to evict you.
You wouldn't dare.
Try me.
Eviction? Oh, wait a minute. I don't have anywhere else to go.
You had a home before this, didn't you?
I already gave up my apartment.
That was your choice, not my problem.
You can't do this to family.
That's not my concern. If you won't comply with the eviction, we can settle this in court. I want the back rent paid too. Would you prefer that?
Oh, you are heartless. After everything I've done for you.
What exactly have you done for me?
I welcomed you into the family.
By criticizing me at every opportunity?
Just wait a minute. You think it's okay to do this to your parent? James won't stand for this.
You think James doesn't know?
He wouldn't agree to this.
James has agreed to these measures. Besides, we're not parent and child anymore, just landlord and tenant. I'm simply exercising my rights within that relationship.
He would never treat his mother this way.
He already has. He approved everything.
Let me talk to him.
He doesn't want to speak with you.
This is all you're doing. You have turned my son against me.
Your actions did that all on their own.
But this puts me in a terrible position. You understand, right? Oh, please have mercy.
Like the mercy you showed me all these years?
That was different. I was trying to guide you.
Guide me by insulting me and my family?
I was trying to make you a better person.
By squatting in our apartment.
Please, just listen to me.
We're the ones who need mercy and are in a difficult position. You'll definitely repay our losses, so don't think you can escape.
I can't afford the back rent.
You should have thought about that before moving in.
Give me some time to figure something out.
You've had 6 months of free living. Time's up.
Just a little more time.
No. Pay the rent or face eviction.
What about a payment plan?
Full payment or court proceedings. Your choice.
Oh, you're being unreasonable.
Like you were when you took over our apartment?
That was different.
No, it wasn't. Actions have consequences.
I'm begging you.
The rent is due. Pay it or leave.
You'll regret treating family this way.
You're not family. You're just a tenant in breach of contract. Subsequently, when the mother-in-law refused to pay the heirs, we had to issue an eviction order. However, as she still wouldn't move, we had to take legal action. As a result, she had to pay the back rent from her meager savings. Given it was a luxury high-rise in a prime location, the rent was quite substantial. After paying 6 months of back rent, the mother-in-law, living on pension, had no money left for monthly rent payments. Under these circumstances, after paying the heirs, she had to move out. Now she lives in an apartment even more rundown than her previous home before moving into our place. I manage the real estate business I inherited from my father while caring for him alongside my mother and husband. Though life has its challenges, it's much happier than the days of enduring snide remarks.
Hey, I need to talk. I can't take this anymore.
Jake, what's wrong? What can't you take?
Every single day, it's so loud. I've had enough of this.
Are you seriously messaging me about this while I'm in the nursery trying to get them to sleep?
You've been in there for hours. When is it gonna end?
They're overtired. Emma just fell asleep, but Mia's still fussy.
I can still hear him from the living room. Can't you take them somewhere else?
Take them where exactly? This is their home.
I don't know. Your mother's place? A hotel? Anywhere quieter?
You're talking about our babies, aren't you? I get that you're frustrated, but don't be so angry about it.
Can't they be a little quieter? The constant screaming is seriously stressing me out.
They miss their dad. Maybe if you held them once in a while instead of hiding in the other room.
I held Emma yesterday.
For 30 seconds before handing her back because she started crying.
She always cries when I hold her.
Because she doesn't know you. You're practically a stranger to them.
That's not the point. I just need some peace and quiet when I'm home.
They're only 2 months old. We can't exactly tell them to be quiet and expect them to listen. Crying is basically their job right now. We just have to deal with it.
Other babies sleep through the night by now.
Well, that's not true, and you know it. Dr. Chen specifically said twins often take longer to settle into sleep patterns.
At least do something about the crying at night. You're their mother, aren't you? I can't sleep. Like keep them awake during the day or something.
I've been trying everything, reading parenting books, following sleep schedules, even playing white noise. Nothing works perfectly with twins.
My coworker's baby sleeps fine.
Your coworker doesn't have twins.
There has to be something else you can do. Other people's babies don't cry this much.
Don't make it sound so simple. It's not that straightforward.
Have you tried that sleep training thing?
They're too young for sleep training. I've told you this before.
I don't care how, just make them stop crying. One stops and the other starts, then the first one starts again. Can't you at least get them to stop crying at the same time?
Do you hear yourself? They are two separate babies with different needs. When Mia is hungry, Emma might need a diaper change. I've only been a mom for 2 months. I don't have some magic technique to simultaneously calm crying twins.
Maybe we should hire a night nurse.
With what money? You said we couldn't afford it last week.
Why do they have to scream every single night? Something must be wrong with them.
The pediatrician says they are perfectly healthy. You know that if you ever came to their checkups. This is totally normal for babies. It's the same everywhere.
When I'm home, their noise gives me such a headache. The stress is killing me.
You think you're stressed? I haven't slept more than 2 hours straight in weeks. My entire day is feeding, changing, and trying to comfort them. If you're going to complain this much, why don't you help with the babies? All you do is complain and never lift a finger to help.
I tried helping last week. You said I was doing it wrong.
You were trying to feed Emma lying flat on her back. She could have choked.
Why should I have to do that? I'm already exhausted from work. This is your job.
Remember when we talked about having kids? You promised we'd be equal partners.
That was different. We talked about having one baby.
Well, that was before they turned our lives upside down. You were excited when we found out it was twins. What happened to that guy?
That was before I knew what it would be like.
There's a limit to what I can do alone with the twins. I literally don't have enough hands. Having twins means double the work.
Who would have thought we'd end up with twins? This is what happens when you say you want kids.
Are you seriously blaming me for having twins? Like I planned this?
Your sister has twins. It runs in your family.
That's not how it works. And you agreed to having children too, didn't you?
I didn't think we'd get two at once.
Neither did I. But they're here now and they're ours, both of them.
I just need some space, some quiet.
That's not how this works. Don't talk about them like that. Yes, the night crying is tough, but that's just how it is.
No, it's not just how it is. Maybe it's fine for you since you don't work, but I have a job. I can't work if I'm sleep deprived.
But you sleep fine most nights. You barely even wake up when they cry. I haven't had a proper sleep in 2 months.
That's because you don't work. Don't try to compare yourself to me.
Taking care of twins is work, the hardest work I've ever done. You're the one who told me to quit when we got married. You even spread the word at work before I could tell my boss myself. I still haven't forgiven you for that.
That's boring. You were gonna quit anyway, so what if I said something?
I had planned to work until my maternity leave. We could have saved more money. It's ridiculous to not help with childcare in this day and age. All our friends' husbands help out. When are you going to stop acting like you're single?
Other people are other people. We're us.
No, you need to help. I physically cannot do this alone.
Maybe we should just live separately until they're older.
You can't be serious.
God, you're so annoying. I'm not coming home today.
What do you mean you're not coming home?
I already told you it's too noisy to think.
The girls have been asking for you. They get fussy when they hear your voice on TV.
They're 2 months old. They're not asking for anyone.
Babies know their father's voice. If you'd spend any time with them, you'd know that.
You read too many parenting books.
At least I read them. When was the last time you even looked at one?
It's too noisy at home to relax, and I can't get proper sleep. I'm gonna stay at my mom's for a while.
Without even packing a bag?
I have stuff there.
You're running away from your kids. This is ridiculous. You are completely lacking any awareness of being a father.
I told you I need space to think.
Thinking about what? Your responsibilities are right here.
I'm not running away, I just need a break.
A break from what? You barely do anything.
I'm working to support this family as a father, but I can't focus on work because of sleep deprivation. I need to get away from the house to clear my head.
The girls were up 4 times last night. Where were you? Playing games in the spare room?
That's different. Gaming helps me decompress after work.
While I was up with 2 crying babies?
You could have asked for help.
I did ask for help 3 times. You had your headphones on. Why is it always about you? I'm not getting proper sleep either. Are you really not going to help at all?
Look, I've thought about this. You have the responsibility since you gave birth to them. And household stuff is your job. Don't slack off on the housework while I'm gone.
I haven't even showered today. Emma had a fever and Mia wouldn't stop crying.
That sounds like a you problem.
A me problem? They're your daughters. How can I possibly do housework in this state? Are you really not coming home? Jake, please come home early today. You didn't come home yesterday either.
No way. I'm going to my mom's again today.
You didn't answer about yesterday. Where were you?
At work. Big project.
To your mom's? That's weird because Linda usually calls when you visit.
Since when do you talk to my mom so much?
Since she's been more interested in her granddaughters than their father is.
Why are you checking up on me with my mom?
Because you won't give me straight answers.
Yeah, it's quiet there so I can sleep well. Thanks to that, I can focus on work. I'm doing my part for the family here. Just make sure you keep up with the housework. Don't slack off just because I'm not there.
When exactly are you planning to come back?
When things calm down.
They're babies. Things don't just calm down. At least come home to get fresh clothes.
I have enough at Mom's.
That's funny because your drawer is still full.
Stop checking up on me.
I wouldn't have to if you'd just be honest. Should I ask Linda how you're doing?
Don't bother her. She's busy with work.
So busy she hasn't mentioned you staying there?
Why are you interrogating me?
Because nothing you're saying adds up.
Just focus on taking care of the babies. That's your job.
And what exactly is your job right now?
Supporting the family.
Your location says you're downtown.
Stop tracking me. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Where are you really? The train station? Really? Are those business meetings always at hotels? Really mature, Jake. The silent treatment? Your credit card alert just showed a restaurant charge. Business dinner? The girls need diapers. Can you at least send money? Emma's crying for you again. I showed her your picture. She stopped crying when she saw it, then started again when she realized it wasn't really you. I know you're reading these messages. I can see the read receipts. At least tell me you're safe. Fine, keep ignoring us. Just remember, they won't be babies forever. Your mother's calling me. Should I answer? Too late. Already did. This is your mother, the one whose house you're supposedly sleeping so well at. What's going on? You haven't been here at all.
What? What are you talking about? Pretending to be my mom? That's pretty messed up.
Don't you dare try that with me. I changed your diapers for 2 years. I know exactly who I am.
This isn't Sarah using your phone?
Would Sarah know about the birthmark on your left hip, or the time you ate an entire jar of paste in kindergarten?
Mom? What are you really...
I just visited Sarah. When I asked if you were there, she looked surprised and said, "Isn't he staying at your house?"
Mom, why are you at our house right now?
Because I'm helping Sarah feed your children while she finally gets a shower. Emma won't stop crying. She has your temper. And your father's chin, poor thing.
You shouldn't be there. Sarah's just trying to make me look bad.
Make you look bad? You're doing that all by yourself. Do you know what I found in their kitchen? Empty formula containers.
So?
So where's that $1,000 I gave you for baby supplies?
I was actually staying at the office. The babies are just so loud.
Don't lie to me. I called your office yesterday. They said you left early. Your assistant sounded nervous when I mentioned your name.
Why did you come to our house, Mom?
I wanted to ask Sarah about the money. You came to borrow money from me recently, remember? You said you needed it for the baby's living expenses, but something seemed off about you that day. I wanted to check.
Nothing was off. I was normal.
I am your mother. I notice when my child changes. Your eyes always dart around when you lie. I was suspicious, which is why I only lent you $1,000. You've done the same thing since you were 6 and stole cookies. Remember when you blamed your cousin for that?
Mom, please, this is between me and Sarah.
It became my business when you used me to get money. I had no idea about this. Sarah said she'd never heard about the $1,000. What did you use it for?
The babies needed things.
Then where are the things? Sarah says they're running low on diapers. The only new thing I see here is your gaming headset.
That's different.
Different how?
I needed it for work calls.
With the LED lights and the cat ears?
I'm sorry. I'll be honest if you'll forgive me. I was secretly hanging out with a friend and used it for that. Sorry for lying.
A friend? At your age, using borrowed money to hang out?
Yeah, this guy Nakano from work invited me, said we should go on a little trip. He was probably trying to be nice since I was stressed about the babies crying.
So you blew through my $1,000 on that while Sarah is struggling so much? While your daughters need diapers and formula? While Sarah hasn't had a proper meal in days?
I'm exhausted too, having to listen to crying babies every night. I can't work like this.
That's funny because Sarah says you sleep through the night. That's completely normal. Raising children isn't something one person does alone. You're not even helping with childcare and you ran away? Oh, pathetic.
You don't understand how hard it is.
I raised you alone after your father left. Don't tell me about hard. At least he had the decency to leave a note.
I only went because my friend really insisted.
Nakano? The one who's been in Singapore for the past month? I just got off the phone with his wife.
You called his wife?
We're in the same book club. You mean Nakano from your department? I just contacted him. He says he's been away on a long business trip.
Sarah. Yeah, but what do you mean?
Well, it's pretty obvious what's going on. You're seeing some woman behind my back, aren't you? Who is she? Someone from work? Is that true? Are you cheating on Sarah?
What are you talking about? That's ridiculous.
Answer the question, Jake.
Mom, you jump into conclusions.
Am I? Then explain the hotel charges on the credit card I co-signed. I can tell. Don't underestimate a woman's intuition. I know you're tired of me. You spent the $1,000 on her, didn't you? Did you really turn out just like your father?
What are you making up? This is all in your head.
Just like your father, always denying until the evidence is overwhelming. Then give me an explanation that makes sense. But if I catch you lying, you'll regret it. Answer her, Jake!
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know anything.
That's exactly what your father said. Then explain yourself like I asked. Hello? Answer me.
Are you running away again? The silent treatment? Oh, another inheritance from his father. Just like his father, always running when confronted. Sarah, any luck?
No response to any of my messages. His phone is still on, but he's ignoring everything. Have you tried his work friends? No, I checked everywhere I could think of, but I can't find him. I tried his work too, but they said he's been out since yesterday. His assistant seemed nervous when I called. What do you mean? Well, she kept saying, I'm not supposed to say anything. She got really flustered when I mentioned lunch meetings. That girl knows something. I think so too. She's new. She started after I left. Young? Very. Just out of college. She kept apologizing and saying she couldn't help me. That's suspicious. Then she slipped and said he's usually back by 3. Usually? So this is a pattern? Apparently he's been taking long lunches for months. Where could he have gone? He can't hide forever. Oh, what an idiot. I should head back now. I'm sorry for leaving the babies with you. Oh, they've been angels. Emma finally fell asleep. Mia's still watching the door, though, waiting for her daddy. That breaks my heart. Don't worry about it. I should be apologizing for not helping sooner. Oh, don't say that. You have your work. Being a designer is amazing. I've seen how hard you work on your collections. After I divorced his father, I worked desperately to raise Jake alone. His father was the worst kind of scumbag. I never wanted Jake to turn out like him, but now he smells just like his father. What do you mean? The lying, the running away, the young women? Did his father? With his secretary. Classic story. Do you really think he's having an affair? I found receipts for expensive restaurants downtown. Places he said we couldn't afford when I was pregnant. The way he's so adamant about not saying anything, he definitely has something to hide. And from what I can tell, my son hasn't been helping with the babies at all, has he? No, he hasn't. Last week, Mia was running a fever. I begged him to watch Emma when I took her to the doctor. Let me guess, he was too busy? He was playing video games in the spare room, said he needed to decompress. He never helps at all, even when I was up all night and barely standing. He just played games next to me. Then he left because the babies were too noisy. While you were pregnant, did he act distant? Yeah, started staying late at work. Said he was preparing for the babies by earning extra income, but the overtime never showed up in our account. But no extra money came home? Not that I ever saw. He started getting protective of his phone. The classic signs. Changed his password, too. He has zero awareness as a father. I'm so sorry. You're suffering because of my son. His work friend just messaged me. What did they say? He's been seeing the new junior designer, taking long lunches. The one who started 3 months ago? Yeah, she's 23. Just graduated from design school. That's younger than you were when he chased you at work. He is a type, I guess. Fresh out of school, eager to please. Just like his father. His coworker says they've been obvious about it. Everyone knows. They go to lunch together every day, always come back late. She giggles at all his jokes. That idiot! It's not your fault, Linda, but I don't know what to do now. I feel so stupid. All those late nights at work. Oh, I know exactly what to do. What do you mean? Sarah, you can't let jerks like him get away with this. We need to teach him a lesson. A lesson? You have screenshots of everything, right? All the bank statements showing the missing money, the restaurant receipts from his work dinners, his location history showing the hotel visits. Good. Keep collecting evidence. His credit card statements, too. Perfect. First, screenshots. Save everything. Already done. Every message, every receipt. Even found their selfies on his cloud backup. Good girl. Now about those video games he loves so much. Break them and throw them all away. All of them? Every single one. Sarah, you can't let jerks like him get away with this. We need to teach him a lesson. I'm just so tired of all of it. I understand, but you need to be strong now for the girls. A lesson? For example, before he comes back, take everything away from him. Get rid of all his belongings in the house and come to my place. Everything. Every single thing. Even his gaming setup, he spent thousands on that. Especially that. He chose games over his daughters. His signed baseball collection, too? From all those games he went to while you were on bed rest? Yeah, all of it. Make it like it never existed. What about his clothes? Donate them. Someone else's husband can wear them. Get rid of them, but won't that take time and money? I'll pay for it. I have money set aside. For what? Originally, his inheritance. Now, your fresh start. I can't ask you to do that. You're not asking. I'm offering. That money was supposed to be Jake's inheritance anyway. Are you sure? More sure than I've ever been. What about moving everything? I know people who can help with the disposal. I have lots of reliable connections. Leave it to me. His car is still in the garage. I'm still the co-signer on that. I'll have it towed. You really thought this through. I watched his father pull the same disappearing act, but this time we're one step ahead. What about all his paperwork? Keep copies of anything financial. The rest can burn. Thank you, Linda. Jake's going to be shocked when he gets back. Speaking of shock, remember how his company has that ethics hotline? The one they promoted during my exit training? Exactly. Time to make it ring. You think they'll care? About a department head having an affair with a junior employee? Oh, yes. He brought this on himself by walking out. Maybe we should tell his workplace, too. His workplace? I used to work there, too, so I know lots of people. I could tell them Jake took money from you through lies, then abandoned us and disappeared. Like I'm worried and looking for him. Perfect! Play up the concerned wife angle. Has anyone seen Jake? Oh, his twins miss him. That's a good start. Then casually mention the money he borrowed. His boss is friends with him on social media. Even better. Social media is a powerful tool. I'll post on social media too. Has anyone seen my husband? I'll ask everyone. Make sure you write about what he did too. Worried about my husband Jake. He borrowed money from his mother for baby expenses, then disappeared, leaving me alone with our 2-month-old twins. Tag his workplace. And all our mutual friends? Everyone. He wanted to run away? Let's see him run from this. Include the photos from the company dinner? All of them. Won't he be angry? Let him be. He's powerless now. I have pictures of him with that junior designer from the company dinner last month. Looking cozy? His hand is on her waist. Post them. What about her? She knew he was married with newborns. She's not innocent. I have the receipt from that fancy sushi place downtown, the one he said he couldn't afford when I was pregnant. Post it. Date and timestamp included. Wonder what his workplace ethics community will think. Only one way to find out. Right. After being humiliated like this, he'll have to come back. Oh, he'll come back, but not to a home. The movers are here. Good. Start with his precious gaming room. Well, the twins are napping. Perfect timing. When you're done there, come straight to my house. Linda, thank you for everything. No, thank you for showing me who my son really is. Will you really never forgive him? He's just like his father now, and I made a promise the day that man left. What promise? That I'd never let another woman suffer like I did. The movers found his hidden safe. Oh, the one he said he didn't have? Full of cash and hotel receipts. Take pictures. Document everything. Done. Starting to post now. Let the show begin.
Where did you go? What happened to all my stuff? The house is empty!
Oh, now you want to talk?
What have you done? My gaming setup! My collection!
I threw out all your things. Since you left, you don't need a home anymore, right? Linda helped me get disposal services.
My signed baseball cards! Do you know how much those were worth?
Less than the $1,000 you stole from your mother. Less than your daughter's needs.
You had no right to touch my things!
Like you had no right to abandon your family.
Mom's in on this too?
I'm staying at Linda's now, even though she's busy with work. She helps with the babies, unlike you.
My phone's exploding! Why is everyone messaging me?
Your boss saw my post. Interesting timing with your work trip.
The ethics committee wants a meeting tomorrow. What did you tell them?
Worried about your reputation?
You must have said something to work. My boss called and yelled at me to come back and apologize to my wife.
Did he mention the ethics investigation?
What ethics investigation?
The one about using company time for your long lunches with the junior designer.
You had no right.
No right? Like you had no right to waste your mother's money on your girlfriend?
Those screenshots you posted!
I told them how you scammed money from your mother. I posted about how you disappeared on social media, too. My old coworkers follow my account, so they must have seen it, but...
Delete those posts now!
The one with the photos or the one with the receipts? Or maybe the ones showing your hotel check-ins?
There are photos?
The company dinner was quite revealing. You really shouldn't put your hands on another woman's waist when you have a pregnant wife in your home. HR seemed particularly interested in those.
Don't spread that around, that I abandoned my wife and kids!
But it's all right, isn't it? You ignored all my calls and messages. You did scam money from your mother.
The junior designer got called to HR. They're saying it's workplace harassment.
Well, she's your subordinate.
She might lose her job because of you.
Because of me? Oh, you're the married department head who seduced a new hire.
She's innocent in this.
Is she? How innocent is someone who dates a married man with newborn twins?
Are you satisfied after humiliating me like this?
Let me check. Your car's been repossessed, your gaming setup is gone, your collectibles are trashed, your reputation is ruined.
Please, just stop!
Your company's ethics committee is investigating, your mistress is facing disciplinary action, your mother has disowned you. Nope, not satisfied yet. I'm still thinking about other ways to make you suffer.
Okay, I get it. I'll tell you the truth, just please stop! I was cheating. You were right.
Who with?
A junior at work.
Someone I know?
She joined after you quit, so you don't know her. Who she is doesn't matter.
Mika from the design team, 23 years old, started 3 months ago.
How did you...
Oh, your coworkers hate you more than you think. Jake, where did you go with her?
Just a little trip to relax.
To the hot springs resort? The one I wanted to go to when I was pregnant?
You're having me followed?
The receipt was in your safe along with the cash.
You broke into my safe?
The movers found it. Linda said to document everything. Must be nice to abandon your kids like that. Don't mess with me. Tell your girlfriend to be ready to pay damages.
Come on, she's young. She can't afford damages.
Then she shouldn't play adult games. We can work out a payment plan, don't worry. You better be ready, too.
You're really gonna divorce me?
The papers are filed. Check your email.
How are you gonna raise twins alone?
You mean like your mom raised you? Don't worry about it. I'm moving back home, and I have other support.
Who?
Oh, and Linda has a message for you. You stupid son, never step foot in my house again. I'm giving all my money to Sarah and the grandkids. You won't get a penny.
What? Oh, the other support. You mean Mom? She can't do that. I'm her only son.
She's going to send money every month. She says she won't give you a penny, but wants to support the kids' lives. She's making sure you get nothing by spending it all on the children. Looks like she feels responsible.
Is Mom serious? Giving you money instead of her own son? Is she that angry?
She says you're exactly like your divorced dad now. Apparently, he was a worthless scumbag who acted like a 3-year-old. Linda says she thoroughly despises who you've become.
She's comparing me to him after everything?
After everything you did.
You must have manipulated Mom against me. That's low.
You're saying this is my fault? This happened because you involved your mother in your schemes.
Fine, get divorced if you want, but did you have to go this far? How am I supposed to show my face at work now? Because of you, I've lost my family and everyone's trust.
This happened because your actions were terrible. Don't blame others. Go ahead and live with your shame. It's the life you deserve.
This is too much. You've completely ruined my life.
The twins said their first word yesterday.
What? They're too young.
They both cried mama when I came to feed them, not dada. They won't even know you.
I guess I tend to do everything double. We had twins, so I wanted double revenge. Jake skipped work without notice the next day. I guess he was too embarrassed to go in.
But skipping work without notice is pretty immature for an adult. He blamed me for losing everything, but this is exactly why he loses people's trust. He always runs away from problems. His boss convinced him to come back after 3 days, but by then his reputation at work was rock bottom. Everyone saw him as scum. Unable to handle it, Jake skipped work again without notice and ended up getting fired. As for me, I moved back home to raise the kids. Linda still sends money every month. She says she'll work for life for her grandchildren's sake. With help from others, I'm doing my best for my children's happiness.
How are you finding being a stay-at-home wife? It's been a month since we got married. You must be getting used to it by now.
I don't know about that. Still trying to figure out the routine.
You were so excited about it before the wedding. Remember how we talked about it? I thought you'd be more enthusiastic by now.
I remember you being more excited than me. Actually, you were the one who brought it up first.
Because I knew it would be perfect for us. For you. Don't you feel more relaxed now? No more work stress?
Still feels like I'm just getting started. Connor's on break right now. There's a lot to manage here.
I see. Speaking of Connor, did you get his lunch ready on time today? You know how important punctuality is.
Yes, everything's fine. I've been managing the schedule well.
Good, that's important. A wife should always have meals ready on time. That's what makes a good household.
You make it sound so traditional, like we're living in the 1950s.
Nothing wrong with traditional. Traditional values build strong families. You'll see, I'm right about this. By the way, did you finish organizing those files I left on the desk? I need them for tomorrow's meeting.
Not yet. I was focusing on the kitchen first. There's a lot to manage around here. The house needs more attention than I expected.
The files are important for work. I need them done today. Can't you prioritize better?
I'll get to them after I finish here. Everything takes time to do properly.
You used to handle multiple tasks at once at work. This should be simple for you. What happened to your efficiency?
It's different when you're managing a household. Everything takes time. There's always something that needs attention.
Have you had lunch yet? You should take better care of yourself. Can't have you getting sick.
No, not yet. Still finishing up the morning housework. I'll eat after I'm done. Want to make sure everything's perfect.
You should be done with morning chores by now. The house isn't that big. What's taking so long? Are you struggling with basic tasks?
There's more to it than just cleaning. Meal prep, laundry, organizing. It's a different kind of work. You don't see half of what needs to be done.
Didn't you manage bigger projects before? This should be easy for someone like you. Starting to wonder about those work stories. Maybe they were exaggerated?
Managing a house is different from managing projects. Different type of work. You can't compare them.
Interesting. You are always so quick at work. It's surprising to see you struggling with housework. Maybe office work wasn't as challenging as I thought. Real work is different, isn't it?
I'm kind of surprised myself. Honestly, thought it would be easier. It takes a lot of planning to get everything done on time. Each day brings new challenges.
Remember when you used to handle multiple project deadlines? Now you're struggling with basic housework. Funny how that works. Life has a way of showing us our real capabilities.
Managing a household is different from office work. Different skill set. Still adjusting. You try doing this for a day.
You'll get used to it quick. You're efficient. Word even spread to other departments when you were working. Everyone talked about this incredibly fast worker. They're still struggling to fill the gap you left. 2 people can't match what you did, but here you are struggling with housework.
It's kind of embarrassing hearing that when we weren't even in the same department. You seem fixated on my past work. Why bring it up so often?
You should be proud. Your reputation was amazing. They hired 2 people to replace you, you know. Still can't match your numbers. Too bad all that talent is being used to fold laundry now. Such a waste, don't you think?
That's not necessary. I chose this because you wanted it. Or did you forget that part? You were quite insistent about it.
Just shows how amazing you were. But now that amazing senior employee is just some junior employee's wife. Life's funny that way. Better this way though, right?
Everyone at work was shocked. I was always so career-focused, my colleagues said it was unexpected. They couldn't understand why I'd quit. Neither could I sometimes.
Your old team leader asked about you yesterday, said it was a waste of talent. But this is better, right? Having a wife at home makes me look more successful. That's what matters in the end.
Is that why you wanted me to quit? To look more successful? Were you that insecure? Be honest for once.
Don't be silly. I wanted what's best for us, for you. Why are you questioning this now?
But I was good at my job. Really good. Everyone said so. Even you used to brag about it.
And you became a stay-at-home wife on top of that. Must have been quite the shock for everyone, but it's working out perfectly, just like I planned.
That's because you wanted me to be a stay-at-home wife. I would have been fine continuing to work. More than fine, actually. I loved my job.
No, that wouldn't work. How would it look if my wife was better at her job than me? Even in different departments, we'd still be compared. Can't have that, can we?
I kind of get how you feel, and it must be hard feeling inferior. Is that what this is about?
Besides, this is more traditional. A man should be the provider. That's just how it works. Stop questioning everything I do for us.
Is that really how you see it? Times have changed, you know. Most couples both work now. Have you noticed that?
Traditional values never change. Look, being a stay-at-home wife isn't all bad. You just stay home without working. Isn't it easier than before? Why are you being ungrateful?
That's not true. I wouldn't say work was easier, but this isn't easier either. Maybe it's just about getting used to it, but there's more to it than that.
Is that so? Well, keep at it. Just make sure you manage the money right. That's all I care about. At least you can handle that much, right?
I've always been good with money. You know that. Remember who managed the team budget? Who always came in under budget?
Different when it's household money. My money. Need to be more careful with it. Everything costs more these days.
Of course, we need to think about the future and save money. I'm being careful not to waste anything, unlike some people.
Good, because I'm watching the accounts. Every penny counts when I'm the only one working. Seriously, I'm counting on you. Right now, I'm the only one earning, so all our money is my money. Can't have you using it weird ways. Need to keep track of everything.
I understand, but do you have to phrase it like that? You've been saying that ever since I became a stay-at-home wife. It's getting old and, honestly, quite insulting.
Saying what? I'm just stating facts. Why are you so sensitive lately?
The my money thing, it's become your catchphrase lately. Like you're the only one contributing, as if running the house isn't work.
Well, it's just facts. Take it as me being conscious of my role as the breadwinner. Someone has to be responsible. That's what being a husband means.
Still, saying my money feels wrong somehow. We're supposed to be partners. Or did you forget that part? Marriage isn't about ownership.
Come on, don't be like that. I'll earn plenty. You just focus on your stay-at-home wife duties. That's all you need to worry about. Let me handle the big decisions.
When you say it like that, makes me wonder if this was the right choice. If any of this was right. You've changed since we got married.
It was. Trust me. This is how marriages work best. You'll see I'm right. Just give it time. Stop overthinking everything. Hey, Rachel, I'm done here. Come pick me up. I'm at the bar near the office. Get here within an hour. Don't make me wait.
It's almost midnight. I thought you said you'd be home for dinner. I was wondering why you were late. You're drinking again? This is becoming a pattern.
Just a few drinks with the team. It's important for work. You remember how it is. Stop nagging.
I remember always coming home for dinner, even during busy periods, never staying out drinking like this. Never made excuses, either.
No, it's just work socializing. Just waiting here. Come get me. Don't make me wait too long. You know how important networking is.
This is the third time this week. The food I made is cold now. I spent hours on it. Do you even care anymore?
Save it for tomorrow, then. Stop nagging and come get me. You're making this difficult. Why do you have to make everything complicated?
You really need to stop this. It's getting out of hand lately. What time do you think it is? When did this become normal?
You don't understand business. These drinks are important for networking. Besides, I earned this money. Why are you being difficult about this? Stop acting like my mother.
That's not the point. We had plans tonight, and you're spending too much on drinks. Our savings are disappearing.
Plans can change. That's how business works. You're being too rigid about this. You used to be more understanding.
I used to work there too, remember? The drinking culture wasn't this bad. You're making excuses.
Time doesn't matter. I'm exhausted from work. Don't complain about this little thing. You don't know how hard it is being the only provider. You've forgotten what real work is like.
Our savings account is almost empty. We can't keep spending money like this. The bills are piling up. Do you even look at the accounts anymore? When was the last time you checked?
That's your job now. Then figure out how to budget better. That's your job, isn't it? What else do you do all day? You can't even handle simple finances?
Managing money isn't the problem. The problem is the spending. I am complaining because you're going overboard. You can't keep drinking like this every week. Ugh, it's like talking to a wall.
What's your problem? I work hard all day. I deserve to unwind. You used to understand this. When did you become such a nag? This isn't the woman I married.
We're barely making rent. This isn't about deserving anything. It's about responsibility, about our future. Do you even care about that anymore?
What's wrong with drinking with my own money? Don't act high and mighty when you don't earn anything. Who do you think lets you live this life? Remember your place. Getting tired of your attitude.
I'm grateful that you're earning money, but we're married. You must understand, you can't just spend freely. We need to think about tomorrow.
You used to be more fun. Marriage changed you. All you do is complain now. What happened to the cool girl I married? Where did she go?
I'm trying to be responsible. One of us has to be. Someone needs to think about our future, since you clearly won't.
Managing that is your job. Why do you think I let you manage my money? You were so good at work, but can't handle this? Oh, maybe you're only good at work. Is that it? Missing your glory days? Is that why you're so bitter?
You're drunk. You're being worse than usual. Or is this how you really feel? The mask is slipping, isn't it?
Don't analyze me. Stop analyzing everything. Just come get me and bring some cash. Need to settle the tab.
We don't have any extra cash. The account is almost empty. I've been telling you this for weeks now. Are you even listening?
Whatever. Why are you even mad? It's true you don't earn anything and have no other redeeming qualities. Mad because you can't argue back? Remember how much you used to earn? Look at you now. Just a housewife who can't even manage money.
That's not it. I'm saying this because it's becoming a problem. We're almost at our first anniversary and we haven't saved anything. What are we going to do? Have you thought about that?
I told you to manage it better. Not my fault you can't budget. Isn't managing that your job, like I said? Honestly, you're annoying. Stop complaining to me and figure it out yourself. Can't even handle that much? And you used to be such a star employee. What happened to those skills? All gone now?
That's what I thought you'd say. Fine, I'll handle it my way. Since you brought up my old job, maybe it's time we talked about that.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you threatening me? You're in no position to make threats. Don't forget who pays the bills. Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
It's not a threat. I'm just stating facts. I've been thinking about this for a while, about everything.
Huh? What facts? You're not making sense. What are you planning?
I could just start working again. Then you can do whatever you want. More money coming in seems like a win-win to me. Unless you have a problem with that.
You're getting ideas above your station. Remember your place. No, we agreed you'd quit when we got married. That was our deal. Are you going back on your word?
Was it really an agreement? Or did you just decide that, like you decide everything else? Be honest for once.
Don't start this. Besides, you could barely handle the housework. What are you talking about? No way you could handle work and housework. You could barely manage one. Stop dreaming.
That was when we first got married. I'm used to the housework now. I can manage both. Unless there's some other reason you're against it. Something you're not saying?
Stop pushing this. Just drop it. I'm not having this conversation now. Know your place. Final warning.
My place? What exactly is my place? Please enlighten me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
You know what I mean. Are you coming to get me or not? Stop changing the subject. This conversation is over.
Will you at least promise to cut back on drinking? We really can't afford this. I'm serious about our finances. Something has to change.
It's not that. It's impossible. No one would hire you now. You've been out too long. Market's changed.
I was at the same company as you until recently. I don't think it's impossible. My skills haven't disappeared, unlike your common sense.
You're really pushing it tonight. Keep this up and you won't like what happens. Don't make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry.
Is that a threat? Are you threatening me now? Want to put that in writing? Go ahead, be specific.
That's because you started as a new grad, as a mid-career hire. Rachel, it's tough at your age. You landed a younger guy like me. Be happy with that. Know when you're lucky.
My age? I'm barely older than you, and I had more experience. Is that what bothers you? The experience gap?
Experience that's worthless now. You've been out of the game too long. Times have changed. Technology's different. You wouldn't understand.
Don't decide it's impossible before I even look. Besides, if our finances weren't such a mess, I wouldn't be saying this. We have nothing but problems right now, all because of your spending, your ego, your insecurities.
God, you're annoying. I said it's impossible, so it's impossible. Can't you take a hint? Why are you being so difficult? Just listen to your husband for once.
Fine, then forget it. For now, we'll see who's right.
What's that supposed to mean? For now, what are you planning? Answer me.
Nothing. Forget it. Just come home, if you can still walk.
Good! Now hurry up and pick me up. You wasted enough time with all this talk, so hurry! I'm getting impatient. Don't make me wait any longer.
I'll be there in 20, but we're not done with this conversation. This isn't going away. Things need to change.
Whatever, just hurry. Rachel, wait. I need $500 when I get home tomorrow, non-negotiable.
$500? What for? Don't tell me it's another drinking party. Please tell me you're joking. We can barely afford groceries.
Yeah, that's right. Big client coming in. Need to show them a good time. Important for business. Can't look cheap in front of clients.
We literally just talked about this. The account is empty. Are you even listening? I just said we don't even have enough for groceries.
That's your problem to solve. Figure it out. That's what housewives do. Make it work somehow. You used to be so resourceful.
No way. We don't have that kind of cash on hand. Did you hear what I just said? We are broke because of you.
The bank's still open now. That's why I'm telling you this early. Go withdraw it now. Stop making excuses. Just get it done.
From what account? The savings is empty. The checking account barely has enough for bills. I have shown you the statements multiple times.
Then use the credit card. We'll figure it out later. Stop being difficult.
Absolutely not. I am not giving you money for this. The cards are maxed out anyway. You've seen to that.
Since when do you make the decisions? What do you think you're saying? It's my money anyway. Or did you forget that? Getting brave behind that screen.
Our money. We're married, remember? Or does that only matter when it's convenient? When you want something?
Don't start with that. You don't have any right to complain. Who earns it? Who pays for everything? Answer that question.
I told you before, our financial situation is really bad. We are in debt. Deep in debt. Because of your spending.
Transfer the money now. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Last warning. Do it now.
And I am telling you no. We are already behind on bills. What part of that don't you understand? Should I spell it out for you?
That's none of my business. Did you already forget what I said earlier? Don't act high and mighty when you don't earn anything. Know your place. Last chance.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I should be earning. Since you can't manage money, since you can't control yourself.
We've been over this. Drop it. Final warning. Don't push me.
No, let's talk about it. Since you keep bringing up money, I don't want to hear that from someone who brags about such a modest income. Aren't you embarrassed constantly trying to put me down? I became a stay-at-home wife because you asked me to. Have you forgotten that? Oh, did I hit a nerve?
Watch your mouth. You know who puts food on the table. A stay-at-home wife with no income sure has a lot to say. Don't you dare say anything rude to my face.
Let's be honest here. The only reason you made me quit was because I earned more than you. Remember your reaction to my promotion? The look on your face? The way you suddenly wanted me to quit?
What's that supposed to mean? You're crossing a line, a dangerous line. Better stop while you can.
Am I wrong? You said it yourself. That you couldn't handle having a wife who earned more than you. That's why you asked me to be a stay-at-home wife. Remember those exact words? Do I need to remind you?
You're misunderstanding. So annoying. That's not it at all. Stop twisting things. You always do this.
Remember the day you asked me to quit? Right after you saw my promotion announcement. Funny timing, wasn't it? Want me to show you the screenshots? I kept them all.
Shut up! That had nothing to do with it. You're making things up. Stop trying to rewrite history.
It's fine. You don't need to deny it so much. It was obvious even when we were dating that you had a complex about earning less than me. Happy now that you've protected your fragile little ego? Must feel good looking down on me. Until now, that is.
You've lost your mind! Keep talking like this. See what happens. I'm warning you. Last chance to stop.
What exactly will happen? More threats? Go ahead, I'm recording everything. Every single message, every single threat.
Seriously, shut up! Who do you think you are talking to me like that? You've changed! You were never this disrespectful before! What happened to you?
Who do you think you are? Getting on your high horse every time is so annoying, pathetic. At least be honest about your insecurities. Stop pretending.
You better watch yourself. You're gonna regret this when I get home. Remember what I said. Don't make me show you your place. I mean it this time.
What are you going to do? Go ahead, tell me. I'm listening. Put it in writing. Be specific. I want to see exactly what you mean.
Anyone who doesn't earn needs to get on their knees and bow their head to the floor. That's punishment for acting above your station. Look forward to it. I'll teach you respect. Just you wait.
Is that right? Interesting perspective. Then you better get ready to bow down yourself. I'm really looking forward to you coming home now. This should be fun. Really fun.
What? Me? How does that make any sense? What are you talking about? Stop speaking in riddles.
Think about it. Because you said anyone who doesn't earn has to bow down. And I do earn money. More than you, actually. Much more.
What are you talking about? What do you mean you earn money? You're not working. Stop lying. This isn't funny anymore.
That's what you think. I never said I wasn't working. I'm working remotely right now. I just kept quiet because I knew you'd make a fuss, like you're about to. Want to see proof?
You're lying. This is just to get out of trouble. You've got to be kidding. Someone your age couldn't possibly get hired now. Stop joking around. This isn't funny.
Want to see my pay stubs? They're right here. Very real, I assure you. It's the truth. Should I send pictures? High resolution so you can see every detail.
You're bluffing. You have to be. There's no way. You can't be serious.
By the way, the only reason we can still afford to live with all your wasteful spending is because of my income. Otherwise, we'd have run out of money for basic expenses long ago. Guess who's been covering your drinking habits? All those expensive nights out, all those business meetings?
Whatever. I bet you barely make anything. Probably some part-time job. If you've got complaints, try earning more than me first. Now shut up and get ready to bow down. Stop playing games.
Want to compare numbers? Since you're so interested in money lately.
You're lying. Prove it. Right now.
Yeah. Want to see my pay stubs? They're higher than yours. Don't be too shocked. I have them ready. Been waiting for this moment.
That's impossible! You only started working again a few months after we got married. There's no way you could earn more than me already. You're making this up. Stop lying.
Actually, I never really stopped. Well, I didn't exactly start fresh. I went back to my old company. I'm just working remotely for now, but I plan to go back to the office once things settle down. They were quite happy to have me back. Begged me to return, actually.
You're lying. Someone would have told me. The office gossips about everything.
Of course you haven't. Like I said, I knew you'd make a fuss. I asked people in your department to keep quiet. You can ask them if you want. I'll let them know it's okay to tell you now. Should I message them? A group chat, maybe?
So you seriously earn more than me? Like for real? This isn't a joke? You can't be serious. This is impossible.
Should I spell it out? Yes, I earn more than you. Much more. Remember, I was their star employee. Everyone was thrilled when I said I'd come back. Want the exact numbers? I can show you the decimals, too.
Sorry for going quiet, but can I keep talking? What was I saying in the text earlier about bowing down?
Scrolling up, are we? Rereading your own words? Must be sobering. Found that part about bowing down yet? Want me to quote you directly?
Listen, Rachel, I was just stressed from work. You know how it gets. I didn't mean any of that. You know me better than that, right?
That's not going to work. You can see your own messages right there in the chat history. Should I screenshot them for you? Make a nice collection? Frame them, maybe.
About that! I didn't mean those things. You know that, right? I was drunk. Still am a little. People say things when they're drunk.
Which things exactly? The bowing down part, or the part about my age, or maybe the threats? Let's be specific. I want to hear you explain each one.
Well, I was just getting a bit carried away. You're amazing, Rachel. Glad your work skills haven't gotten rusty. I always knew you were talented, always believed in you. Remember how I used to brag about you?
Interesting how your tone changed. Almost like magic. Is it because I earn more, or because I have proof of your threats? Which is it? Be honest for once.
No, that's not it. I'm just proud of you. Really proud. Always have been. You're my amazing wife. The best wife anyone could ask for.
Save it. Your previous messages were quite clear, and I saved them all. Every single threatening message, every insult, every time you told me to know my place. I'll be waiting at home with divorce papers. After this, when Tyler came home, he got on his knees and begged not to get divorced. Satisfied with seeing him grovel, I immediately handed him the divorce papers and kicked him out of the house. Considering how he had been looking down on me just to feel superior, and how he'd been doing whatever he wanted because he thought he was above me, this was inevitable. After a while, I handed him the divorce papers. Tyler came to the house to apologize, but I couldn't see his personality changing at this point, and I had no obligation to wait around until it did. So I asked his parents to help submit the divorce papers. During the divorce, I also demanded compensation for emotional distress based on Tyler's past behavior and comments. Some people criticize me for such a short marriage, but I think continuing that marriage would have been far more terrifying, so I have no regrets about getting divorced.